let's go. Listen, I know it probably seems like I tend to be a few minutes late every single time that I do this, and I do, but it's not because I'm pulling some kind of power flex move. It is because I am an idiot, and every time that I think I'm ready to go, I'm not, and I realize, oh my God, I have to grab that and that and that. Oh man, it's just a tough life, dude, you know? But we are going to get into this today because man, I can't possibly explain how excited I am that the Charlie Kirk case is like back in the, you know, like in the center focus, because it's like living out a choose your own adventure like mystery novel that's written by a sixth grader, you know, where it's like, okay, this lines up. And so we're going to be going through some very, very sixth grade details that I have recently stumbled upon, you know, where I'm looking at this going, how did I miss these things before? You know, how? And they're going to be hilarious, obviously. Although, you know, it's going to be hard for people to explain how these things exist while also, you know, saying that whatever they're saying happened actually happened. Now, one thing I will start out with that has been talked about absolutely ad nauseum is the text thread between Lance and Tyler. Okay. So I have always said, of course, that this text thread is, it feels super fugazi, right? Like super fake. And I've heard pretty much everyone's take on why this sounds so fake, right? I have not seen anyone actually go through this thread and point out what I'm going to, because now listen, like, let me just disclaimer this at the beginning of the stream. No matter how definitive the language that I use is in this stream or anytime after, just my opinion, even if I say it is 100% for sure, obviously nothing can be 100% for sure, and certainly nothing that's just my opinion. Now, with that out of the way, okay, I never, ever say 100% about anything. In this case, I'm going to say 100% that text thread is fugazi. It's not, it's fake. And I'm not saying that I know who wrote it. I'm not saying I know whether it was Lance who wrote it or whether it was Feds who wrote it or it was whatever, but that I will tell you right now, 100% not real. And I'll show you how I know. And it's funny because I was circling the drain on it too. And I just never like put it all together looking at it. And I'm going to show you literally in a second here. Wait, Jesse, do you know about Sigma males? Everything you said is good option. My opinion. Oh, good opinion. My opinion is the same. I heard Sigma males are basically guys who just like, they kind of write their own ticket, dude. Like they're not like, I don't know. It's like, honestly, when I heard it described, I'm like, that's exactly what I am. Like, exactly. Because I'm not like the whole, like, this group of alpha males, bro. I would never say the word alpha male unless I'm making fun of someone else, first of all. Like, or unless I'm like actually being forced to like describe a situation and I can't think of any other way to describe it. Where I'm like, you know, you get these 10 alpha male guys in the room and like they're going to start biting each other's heads off because no one can fall into line, you know, something like that. But most of the time I'm like, oh, alpha males guy, because they're usually associated with nerds on the internet who are all, you need to grab your balls and you need to tell that bitch to get in the kitchen. And you're like, oh, bro, wow, that is insightful. Wait, let me write that down. Grab my balls. Tell that bitch to get in the kitchen. Boom. Thank you for that advice. And like the person taking notes is like a 5'3" overweight 17-year-old. They're all, tell that bitch to get in the kitchen. Got it. first girl that is even moderately interested in them. And they're like, where they would have been thinking to themselves, like, what would be a smooth way to try to hold her hand for the first time? And then maybe we could even kiss. And they're like, I think she likes me. They're all, what are you going to do? It's like, I don't know. I'm just going to see what happens. First thing, it's like, hey, bitch, get in the kitchen, make me a fucking sandwich. She's like, what? He's like, make me a sandwich. And then his buddies are like, what happened? He's like, it didn't work, dude. It didn't work. I went with the grab my balls and tell her to go to the kitchen. It didn't fucking work, man. It's so stupid, dude. Turgon Perth, thank you very much. Hey, brother, been a minute. Back today. More in a bit. Happy to see you and our community going and growing. Love y'all. Thank you very much. And so am I, dude. So am I. Yeah, so let's run through I was just thinking, dude, I could do an entire bit just on that, like on like these like young, inexperienced Nimrods taking direct advice from like the alpha male guys. It's like the advice is so bad in that case. It's like, listen, to be clear, there is a place for certain advice that they share. A lot of it that I've heard them give when it comes to like Akash and Jasleen is very on point, where it's like, yes, you have to be capable of telling a girl who is your wife that represents you that it's like, listen, girl, like, I love you. I chose to spend my entire life with you. I'm going to be supportive of whatever you do. And bottom line, I want you to be happy and I want to help you achieve your dreams. However, right now, you need to shut your stupid fucking face, okay? You need to shut up. Just shut your dumb face, okay? I realize it's easy for you to villainize my friends as if this is their fault, but you talked about another guy's dick on the podcast. You talked about your podcast co-host's husband, who's in the room with us, guessing that he has a 10-inch dick, and then you said you wanted to have sex with him, with me sitting right there, and I didn't do anything. Do you think that that's like good for my brand? I've made a huge part of my brand us having this incredible relationship, and you have destroyed that, and you've made me look like a cuck, and now I don't really know which way is up, okay? So I need you to go in the kitchen and shut your stupid mouth. See, in that case, that would have been good advice, but it needs to be very specific, because I have been together with Gabrielle for 20 years. I've never told her to shut her stupid face and go in the, in the kitchen, because I chose a good girl. Okay, so let's do this thing, dude. Okay, like, oh yeah, how'd it go? Yeah, she beat my ass and threw me out of the house. Super alpha, exactly, dude. Yeah. Well, no, like my point is like they would never even be in the same house, because like most of the like what kind of people require that type of advice usually? Okay. I don't know, not me, right? Like not people like me. Is like, wait, so what should I do? It's like, you need to neg him, bro. Neg him. What does that mean? And he's like, you give him kind of like a backhanded compliment, tell him like, oh, it's pretty, but I don't know. You probably could have made a better choice tonight. And then you just walk away, and then they'll find you later ready to go. It's like, no, they won't. No, they won't. Not for that kid. Okay. Anybody walking around that would work for is not watching your channel. Okay. Also, I disagree with that entire approach. Just make them laugh. Make them laugh as much funnier, and then you don't come off desperate. Make them laugh. Don't look desperate. Tell yourself, okay, it's going to sound weird. It's going to sound super fucking weird, but it will work. Trick yourself in your brain that the girl that you're talking to is your sister for the first couple hours that you hang out, right? No, nothing there. Like, doesn't matter how good they look. It's just joking around, dude. The lack of you eyeballing her up and down will make her go, what the hell's up with this guy? I can usually feel guys' creepy little eyeballs on me, and he's not doing that. Anyway, okay, that's enough time. Now we can actually get to the real case. Okay, what type of screwdriver is found? Everyone knows scope mount uses an Allen or a torque. That's not a normal screwdriver. Also, they're saying that, he took the rifle apart and all that stuff. we're actually going to be looking at that today as well. All right. So now let's get into the beginning of this thing. And I wanted to go through the text. Actually, you know what? No, I'm going to show you guys this first. The very first thing I wanted to show you guys is this is from Candace's episode 2 days ago. Okay. And this was a part where I was like, oh, wow, that's very, very, very challenging to explain this with anything other than there is no explanation for this. And there's a bunch of stuff like that. Okay, so I'm going to play, this is like 2 minutes, and then I'm going to tell you exactly what I'm talking about.
Backseat, but also Frank says that he started CPR, but Brian Harpel says no such thing took place because CPR would have been the wrong thing to do while he was bleeding. Gets a little, Frank Turek is an option for sure. Yeah, Frank Turek is an option of someone who could have been statusing Ben Shapiro's security during this time. We've got Dan Flood and Justin Davis. Justin Davis was driving upwards to 100 miles per hour. I'm going to say he didn't phone Ben Shapiro's or answer the phone call of Ben Shapiro's security to update him because he was focused on the road. That would make the most sense. If the story that Brian Harpel told was true, that leaves us with Dan Flood. Either Dan Flood or Frank Turek were providing updates. But it couldn't have been Frank Turek. I'm sorry, I've lost my mind. Frank Turek left his kids on FaceTime. I'm so sorry. We're playing Guess Who right now. Frank Turek's down. He's down. Remember, his phone, he just didn't even realize while he was praying out loud, his kids were just left on the phone on FaceTime because that's what he was doing. So it can't be Frank. You're down. Bye-bye, Brian. Bye-bye, Rick Cutler. Justin and Dan in this dark game of Guess Who? Which one of you guys called 911? Because they've never said who called 911 because the 911 calls that were released show that neither of them called 911. Is there a missing 911 call? Why would we not have it? That's public information. Who called 911? Someone called 911 and then called Ben's security or answered Ben's security's call and provided updates. So Ben knew what was happening before the rest of the world found out around 12:38 p.m. By the time that video began making the rounds, it was 12:38 p.m. If you go back and check on X, Ben knew sooner because someone in that car informed his security that Charlie had been hit. Rather than focusing on the chaos of trying to save Charlie's life, they said, you know what? 911 can wait. Ben needs an update right now. I know what my gut is telling me about Charlie's assassination. I've been clear on the fact that I believe Israel is involved, and I've been clear on the fact that there is something very dark about the history of Ben Shapiro, the way that he stalks and obsesses. I've made it clear on this show that it's getting to a point when you get fired from a company and for 2.5 years, they stalk you.
So where to even start with that clip? Okay, so first of all, to Jen Ocean's point, right? Why on God's green earth would Ben Shapiro's security have been in contact with Charlie Kirk's security in that moment? Okay. Now, that's like the first thing that you think, and like where it's like, how is that even possible? Right. So then there are other questions that there are, no good answers for, but the main one. Okay. So this is how I'm setting this up. Right. And by the way, if you haven't liked this stream, I would appreciate it if you guys could do that super quick. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, that would be amazing also, because many times you will not get suggested my content if you're not actively subscribed. But okay, so you have some questions that are obvious to come out of that will have explanations that make sense. There are other questions that do not 1, 0. It is impossible to answer a question. You can't answer this question that I'm going to point out in a second. But first, I'll just say, like, the Ben's security team being in contact with Charlie's security team, I can explain right now. Okay. When something like this happens, right? Like it's something that big of a deal happens, and you are a person who is like, who knows people in those circles, you reach out to them to see what's what. You're not necessarily expecting someone to pick up or text back or whatever, but you're like, you know, I just saw what happened. How is everything going? Stuff like that, right? It is very, very not beyond a reasonable, you know, like it's actually believable that someone on Ben Shapiro's security team is, you know, like knows someone who's on Charlie's security team. Like these are all operator guys. They, you know, they know each other, and just, you know, texted or called and said like, how is Charlie doing? Like, where's he at? And then they gave, you know, an update. That's not outside the, like a scope of reality that could totally happen. However, not one of them calling 911, that is beyond the scope of belief. That's no, like, nope. If you looked into all of the people who are on that team and in that circle around Charlie, in that scenario, he gets shot, they come over, you got all these guys, you're throwing the keys around, you go pick them up, take them to the car, you're driving somewhere frantically, whatever it is. If you do not have a 911 call from any of those people, that there's an answer, but it certainly is not going to be an answer that anybody is ever going to say publicly, because it's going to be damning. Like you can't, like, everyone would call, you literally, one of the first things that you would figure out, who's called 911. Okay. If you've ever been in a situation like that, which is like very, very frantic, you know, I mean, I have one recent one where there was a fire that broke out. I will be vague with this whole entire story because there's other people involved that we haven't, like, you know, decided that we're going to talk about this or not. But there was a fire, and it was an extraordinarily dangerous situation that needed to be addressed immediately. Like, where it was like, holy shit. And it was like instantly you're on with 911 because you're like, you know, and it's just what happens. There's no scenario where anyone in that, like, where there's no one calls 911. It's the very first thing. Who's calling? Boom. It's the biggest fire, you know, get people out here. And the idea that none of them would have done that is absurd. It's absurd. You know what I mean? It's the same thing as when you watch what happened immediately following, where the security goes over the desk, and they're, you know, supposedly working on them. But you know, listen, dude, there's cameras on your face. We can zoom in. We could zoom in and see your face. And when they look like this, you know what I mean? It's like it literally feels like that. When you look at the pictures, it looks like, you know, like, what if you had one picture of them and they're like how nonchalant could their photographs look before people go, yep, nope, that's just definitively completely wrong, right? Because there's one, but what the fuck did you just say? Cousin Schimmel? Have you been talking to my wife again? I thought I told you to stay away from her. Man, I can't believe that you just exposed this, dude. I thought that I told you that I was going to handle my marriage problems internally, and I don't want you talking to my wife anymore, and especially not in all caps, okay? What am I going to do? Put you in timeout. Now go think about what you did, dude. You don't have any idea what Gabrielle's thinking. I'm just kidding, guys. I don't actually know that person, obviously. All right. So here's the, do I have an inflammation problem? Probably. Inflaming. I mean, my name's Jesse on Fire. Do I have an inflammation problem? Of course I do. Anyway, so I just look at certain things, and like when I'm basing my opinion on body language and how people are coming off and whether or not I see certain things that I feel like I should see and whatever, I just always ask myself, how extreme would it have to be for people to all be on board and go, all right, this clearly doesn't fit. And so like, that's actually an example I could think of that's pretty dead on. It's like, if Charlie gets shot and then they're on top of him and you look and like one of the guys is like, he's like doing a sea walk behind him. He's all, oh, damn. The other one's all, oh yeah, get it. I mean, that's like the most extreme example. Like one of them starts twerking above Charlie. Would you be like, I feel like this is weird. Like this feels like something you wouldn't do in the event that this was something that's, either like, are you celebrating that you just whacked him out, or like what's happening? Because this doesn't fit. And sometimes things like that are so fucking obvious to me that is what it looks like to me. And then I look around and I'm like, guys, right, guys? And people are like, yeah, God, get your tinfoil hat out, Jesse. It's embarrassing. I'm like, oh, okay. It's one of those ones, dude. This dude is twerking, and apparently I'm the only one in the world, because he's not the only one. But anyway, okay. So let's also now look at, I've got a bunch of stuff from Candace that I wanted to talk about. I really want to go through the Tyler Robinson and Twiggs transcript from the text messages, and I just lost that and because it just like it timed out. But when you actually look at this and you really genuinely look at it and just look at this transcript, it is damning. And I'm telling you, like I'm going to say right now, I'm not suspicious. I'm telling you it's not real. Like it's not fucking real. And the reason that I can say that now is because it never, like I said, I was like kind of circling around it, and I'll show you how I know. Okay. And this is another one. I mean, this one is going to be much more obvious when I point it out to you guys, but like, okay. So, oh God, I hate when they do this. Why with the ads, dude? Oh, there's nothing I can do except, okay, whatever. So what I noticed, and I had been talking about recently, is how when you look at the length of someone's text conversation, a lot of times you can see who's more engaged in the conversation based on how long their responses are, right? And so I was saying, I'm like, this is very suspicious because all of these response, like all of Lance's are super short. Where's the rest of it, dude? Oh, there we go. So all of Lance's are super short and all of Tyler's are super long, right? So that's what I've been saying. I'm like, that's suspicious on its own, right? So just like visually, just look at it, right? Just visually look at this, right? So like, there you go. Okay. Who's got the longer responses? Okay. This is all Tyler. Okay. This is all Tyler. One little text question right there. Okay. One little text here, all Tyler. Okay. When you look and actually read this, dude, like when you actually read it, you guys said I'm glitching. There's no reason I should be glitching right now because I have closed are you guys all seeing me glitch? Because I will throw my computer through the television set if that is the case. By the way, where we're going to go, where I'm taking this on the text thread is to another thing that I'm like, there's something else that might very well be completely fake that I cannot believe I hadn't thought about before. And here's where it's at, right? So drop what you're doing and look under my keyboard. Okay. So that is the initial inciting thing. Like, oh, Tyler wrote this note. Go check it out. Lance, you're joking, right? I'm still okay, my love, but am stuck in Orem for a little while longer yet. Absurd. Shouldn't be long until I can come home, but I got to grab my rifle still. To be honest, I had hoped to keep this a secret, whatever. Okay, so first text is he confesses, right? Literally right out of the gate. Instantaneously, very first message, he confessed. I need to go grab my rifle still, okay? And then next one, you weren't the one who did it, right? Tyler, I am. I'm sorry. Literally, Lance does nothing except set Tyler up to confess, and not like in a way where anyone would actually talk, because that's where everybody's been focused on, is like, listen to all, vehicle, whatever. That's not how you talk. Lance is not even in this conversation. Lance is just saying a little prompt, and then Tyler's confessing the entire time. Okay. You weren't the one who did it, right? I am. I'm sorry. I'm the one who killed Charlie Kirk. It was me. Okay. I thought they caught the person. No, dude. No, just to make sure we're making this very clear. They grabbed some other guy. It's not him, blah, blah, blah. Look at why, right? Why did I do it? Yeah. Lance says nothing. Literally all he's doing is like, go ahead and vomit out the most obvious fake confession ever. Why did I do it? Yeah. I had enough of his hatred. Some hate can't be negotiated out. That's why I killed Charlie Kirk. There is not a part of this text conversation, not one part of it, that is not Tyler confessing to this crime. Nothing. Okay. Why did I do it? I had enough of his hatred. Some hate can't be negotiated out. If I am able to grab my rifle that I killed Charlie Kirk with, I will have left no evidence. Going to attempt to retrieve it again. Hopefully they have moved on. I haven't seen anything about them finding it. Whoever wrote this is a fucking moron, by the way. Like, whoever actually was responsible for cooking up this text thread is a dumbass. Okay. Which makes you think maybe it's Lance, right? And then check this out. So read exactly what Tyler actually said. Now, like, I can't believe I've never surgically looked at this before, but like, so they grabbed some crazy old dude that interrogated him. Why did I do it? Yeah. I had enough of his hatred. I blah, 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 blah. Okay. And then the follow-up question to that is, how long have you been planning this? And that's it. It's like, that's all you got, dude? Not like you shot and killed Charlie Kirk. How about, did you do it alone? How about, like, who's with you? Like, why are, you know what I mean? How long have you been planning this? Oh, perfect setup question for me to fucking word vomit an entire like brick of look at this. It's just a confession. That's all this is, dude. This whole entire thing. Lance is not even in this conversation. A bit over a week, I believe. I can get close to it, but there is a squad car parked right by it. I think they already swept that spot, but I don't want to chance it. Oh, hey, I have an idea. What if we were to think, like, use our thinking caps and remember, when did they recover that rifle? What time was that at again? Anybody? Okay. A few hours after, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours or whatever after Charlie gets shot. Well, this conversation happened at 11:30 p.m. So I just want to make sure I understand. Everyone on planet Earth knows that they had recovered the rifle. And yet at 11:30 p.m., Tyler is somehow having this text conversation with Lance where he just word vomits out this gigantic confession. And then, if you guys don't recall, I'm pretty sure that Barron essentially proved that the Discord confession came after he was in custody, right? So, Jake, yeah, a bit over a week, I believe. I can get close to it, but there is a squad car parked. I think they already swept that spot, but I don't want to chance it. It's like, yeah, they had the bomb sniffing dogs who didn't smell it because, there's dust in the barrel or whatever. And then, like, I'm wishing I had circled back to grab it as soon as I got to my vehicle. As soon as I got to my vehicle, dude. As soon as I got back to my vehicle. Okay, I'm not saying that no one ever uses the word vehicle, but like, no one says, when I got back to my vehicle, to a person that you're in a romantic relationship in. And by the way, that's where we're coming back to, because I'm going to show you a clip, but we're going to do that next. I'm worried what my old man will do if I didn't bring back Grandpa's rifle. I don't know if it had a serial number, but it wouldn't trace to me. I worry about prints. I had to leave it in a bush when I changed outfits. Didn't have the ability to bring it with me. I might have to abandon it and hope they don't find prints. How the fuck will I explain losing this to my old man? Oh my God. Or only thing I left was it wrapped in a towel. literally addresses every single piece of fucking evidence. And like, this is it. Like, Lance says nothing. And then it's just a word vomit of fucking confession. Like, I'm telling you, 100% I can say that this is not real, dude. It's not real. Now, that said, of course, like, nothing I say is 100%. I'm just talking, dude. Just talking. But I want to show you this clip and then tell you why I came back to this right now. Okay. So check this out. So I was looking at this earlier. Okay. And this is that body cam footage of Tyler Robinson from a little while back. Hustle Bitch put it on. Watch this really quick and then let me tell you what I'm thinking.
The driver? Yeah. Can you tell me just really quick what happened?
I was coming this way and he was just passing through and he pulled out from here, or no, from there, I think.
Do you remember which lane you were in?
I was in one of those two lanes going this way. I think in the right, in the rightmost lane coming this way.
Okay.
And he would have been there going left. And as I was coming through, he turned in and I T-boned into the side.
Will you watch that clip? Okay. Obviously, I'm not a person who has an enormous amount of experience in walking into rooms and going, that guy's a closet homosexual. Not really a thing that, like maybe sometimes or whatever, you can kind of pick them out. But my radar on that kid is not, hi, I'm giving off gay vibes or whatever. I realize he has sunglasses on and so you can't see his eyes. But my point is this. What it made me realize is that the only proof that we have that Tyler Robinson is even gay came from where, dude? Where? Where did that come from? Fucking Lance, dude. The same guy who is the source of all of this. We don't even know if Tyler's gay, dude. We don't even know if he had a relationship with Lance, except for that one dude who leaked all that information to Turkey Tom about Lance being crazy and Tyler and him, pounded it out, used condoms in their apartment, all that stuff. It's like, and that reeks of Fed slop now to me. That reeks of setup for later, right? It reeks. And so if you think about this, dude, think about this. Okay. Let's say that this all happened let's say that Charlie gets killed. We don't Tyler Robinson has nothing to do with it. I don't know, feds or Lance or whatever sets him up and he finds himself locked in jail facing capital murder. And just as an additional, cherry on top of the cake, he's not even gay and the whole world thinks he was banging his trans furry roommate. I'm not laughing because it's so fucked up if that's what happened, but it's like there isn't any proof that he's gay. Nothing. It's just words from the exact same source that, in my opinion, has very serious credibility problems. Cricky Carroll, I thank you very much for the super chat. Find a guy that makes you laugh. That is the way that, I keep Gabrielle entertained. That's how we do it like that. Two Dogs, Mike D. Thank you very much. Jesse, the guy who was cheering at Charlie getting shot, he was trying to start chants at the Trump Coachella rally. My best friend and I totally remember him, but can't find him in any of our pictures. Oh, I know a lot about that dude. He was trying to start chants at the Trump Coachella rally. Okay, but what kind of chants? He was which because I don't want to get into the whole thing. I did a super heavy investigation into that guy. Which I feel like I never would have even talked about it publicly if it didn't leak. It doesn't matter. There's a video that was associated with it that I had to leave. I had to have an unlisted link for because I turned it it went to the federal authorities, and I have no idea how many people saw it. Whatever, it leaked, so then I told the story. But I feel a little bit weird about talking about it now because it casts a lot of suspicion on that guy in a separate thing that I don't know. I can't prove one way or the other that he did. So I feel weird about it. But I was extraordinarily suspicious of that guy from day one, obviously. And especially, I've talked about this before. If you actually listen to him, maybe I think I could play that clip actually. I don't know. I'll find it in a little bit. But if you actually listen when he's doing that chant, and he's like, USA, USA, you can hear that there's a second person who is like passionately screaming it. And it, to me, sounds very obvious that was a plan, that person, the second person, is like trying to impress him. Like he's the one in charge. This other person who's with him is like trying to impress him by being, going all in on the USA chant. So yeah, I was very suspicious of that guy. I don't want to say his real name on here, but everybody on the internet knew him as David because he was calling himself David. That's definitely not his real name. But again, it's a weird situation, but like if you can find that video and send it to me, I would be eternally grateful. I would very much like to see that video. If you guys find it. Well, he did say boned into the side of him. That's pretty gay. That is an excellent point, dude. That's an excellent point. When Gabrielle and I were doing, I found this because Gabby and I were doing our video about the case right before this. And when I first watched it and he was telling his story, I just couldn't help myself. I was like, I was driving my truck. It was a little hard to see because I had covered one of my eyes because I was dressed up like a pirate. So I had a pirate patch over one of my eyes. I'll never get over like Tyler Robinson, the pirate, dude. Oh, man. But I just thought, like, you don't know for sure that this dude is even gay. Now, check this out. Actually, let me see which of these I want to do next. Oh, yeah. So we're going to all look at this together, too, because obviously everybody knows, like, Barron's my boy. I love that guy. And Paramount Tactical is going hard in the paint at Barron. And so we're going to go ahead and read this and then see the clip that he's referencing. And something tells me someone is going to be misleading the people. And my guess is it's not Barron, because I don't think Barron would ever intentionally mislead anybody. And I mean, has he ever gotten fact checked and it was wrong? And even if it was, I guarantee he owned it. Guaranteed he owned it. Okay, so let me go to this thing. People are like, that's because he looks like you two are related. Are you guys pretending to not be related? It's like, I don't know. Oh. I mean, I could see it, dude. He looks like my smarter brother. It's like, this guy is the one who always got really good grades, great athlete. This guy is the one who, could have been something playing baseball, but geez, he just couldn't get out of his own way. You know what I mean? Okay, so I want to look at this thing though first. Hang on for a second. This one. Okay, check this out. This is another Candace clip that I was like, okay, I definitely need to talk about this. Whoops.
Even have an entire surveillance system installed on campus that can't identify any faces or any cars at all. So the question is, did we get a clear photo? I was like, maybe he was actually driving around camp. No, we got more blurry images of what appears to be, judging by the car's exhaust pipes, a totally different Dodge Challenger from the one that Tyler Robinson was driving. Okay, here is what was shown. This is a car. This is his Dodge Challenger, and I want you to pay attention to those exhaust pipes at the bottom. We're going to zoom in there, okay? You are noticing that is a dual exhaust pipe. You see two, right? These are your eyes. I know the final instruction.
Hang on there, Lady J's. I wear sunglasses during weekend streams, and also because that means it's like I'm in the mood to like make fun of things, you know? Here, look. There are my eyes. I'm not afraid of showing them. I do feel very uncomfortable right now. Just kidding. But yeah, it's kind of a thing, dude. It's just a thing that we do. Kate Gallagher, how are you? I wasn't a huge Charlie Kirk fan, but I did like him and loved seeing clips of his debates. But he followed me on Twitter in 2018, and OFC I didn't take SS, and I got banned from that account in 2021. Oh, didn't take screenshots. He followed me on Twitter in 2018 and didn't take screenshots, and I got banned from that account in 20. Wait, are you like screenshots just that he followed you? I'm confused. I am confused. But listen, I'm telling you, like when I launch this, we're launching like a whole merch there's structure to it, whatever. But I'm going to literally like put up a poll, because I was saying this, that like, as much as I feel pretty confident that I can come up with or like, you know, approve good designs for guys t-shirts, it's like, as much as I am married to a beautiful girl, I don't know exactly what designs pretty girls are going to want to wear, as well as regular everybody people. And so I'm going to do like polls. I'm going to like, you know, put it up and be like, which ones do you guys like? You know what I mean? I mean, all of you guys are very pretty, but I just mean in general, like, I don't know what people wear if they're not me. You know what I mean? Two Dogs, what's up, dude? Someone on the podium said something about flying illegals into the country. So he started yelling, no more flights, while pumping his fist and turning everyone around him, trying to get us to join in. What the fuck? So if that's true, so what? He was cheering USA for, like, he's a Charlie supporter who cheered after Charlie got shot. Like, what? All I will say that seems to potentially is he has a military background. He's part of a special unit, and has a military background 100%. So I don't know what to make of that. That is super fucking weird. But if you find that clip, please send it to me. At pics I sent you on X of Tyler Robinson on 9/11. Okay, I'll look, dude. Okay, I'll look. I'll look right now. Okay, let me go back to this though.
Instruction is don't believe your own eyes, but I'm asking you to believe your own eyes here. Well, Robinson's car, here's a still of the car, which is clearer, which was towed out of his driveway, features not a dual pipe exhaust system, but it's singular. Okay, that's a major discrepancy that people are rightfully pointing out, amongst other things. I got tons of emails from car people giving me specifics about why this, you basically, when you order the car, you can order different things. We don't need to get into the nitty gritty. Just believe your own eyes on the car front. Now, if you're thinking, Candace, are you suggesting that someone else could have, I don't know, rented a Dodge Challenger and been driving around a gray Dodge Challenger just so they could get images and say that it was Tyler Robinson's car? Well, actually, you don't need me to suggest it. Actually, a witness confirmed that they saw someone else driving a gray Challenger, particularly a bald guy driving the Challenger late at 12:47 a.m. You know, there was that Nest video that captured him returning to campus. People who I talked to, I was like, so who do you guys think was driving it? And they were like, Blake Neff. I was like, dude, if that ended up being true, which of course I do not have even a shred of evidence to support that at all. And I'm not at all implying that would be accurate, but it would be hilarious, you know, be like, oh, that's not good for you guys, you know. This or at 12:47 a.m. around campus, the woman who captured that footage testified to police that she saw a bald man accompanied by 3 other people in the car. Take a listen.
Now, I'd like to talk a little bit about the Ring camera that you obtained, and you interviewed a woman named Ms. Noble. Is that right? to get that ring camera that we watched with the car on the outside?
We interviewed her to verify the authenticity of the video. Yes.
And were you involved in that interview?
With Miss Noble.
Mhm.
Yes.
And do you recall what they told you about what they remember seeing in and around that car that night?
I don't recall. I just know we were there to verify the video. I didn't conduct an interview with Miss Noble at that time.
And do you remember that the Nobles told you that the driver of the vehicle was bald?
I do remember that being in the report, yes.
And you didn't mention that today when you were talking about that ring camera, did you?
I did not.
And did they also tell you there were 3 other people in the car?
Yes, I believe.
You could literally drive a semi truck through the reasonable doubt in this case. A semi truck with people like on the roof going like this. You could just drive it straight through the reasonable doubt. And you know what I realized too, that I think is so kind of like cool about this case and the way that it's all playing out is like, in terms of how a trial actually is, you have prosecution, they present their case, all the evidence, and the jury looks at that. You have the defense attorney, which goes in, and then they present, or the defense team, and they present their case, whatever. And I realized that like this case, now that the trial is starting, is exactly the same as that. And Candace is essentially the defense, like she's the defense attorney, like the lead counsel for the defense, and the public is all part of the jury. The only difference is that there are no like requirements for people to watch all of the trial. And so when you really think that through, right? When you really think it through, there are a handful of people that are absolute stone experts on this case who have looked at nearly every single thing, you know, from start to finish. Me being one of those people, you know, like Barron, Valhalla, any of these guys, Trigger Smart, any of the Danks, people who've been like really looking, Heavy Duty Country. We look at this thing like all the way from the beginning to the end, right? And our opinions are, at least for sure mine, is going to be based on what I've seen, what I've researched, what they say in the trial, and then, you know, what I see when like other people kind of present the counter argument. And so I feel like I have a pretty strong independent like opinion. Whereas in this, you know, in like the public, there are all these people who literally have not looked at the actual trial. They haven't looked at the actual evidence that is counter to the mainstream narrative. And yet they feel totally comfortable going online and then shaming people, calling them conspiracy theorists, whatever. Like you would never, ever allow some juror to come in and like just see, I don't know, like the highlights of the prosecution's case. And then you're like, what do you think, guys? They're all given the death penalty. You're like, you don't want to take a look at any of the additional information. You're just going to go with the death penalty without having heard any of the defense or any of that stuff. And so it's like, that's why when people just come out like these mainstreamers after the pretrial hearing are like, and they're like, guys, this is over, man. It's over. You're like, are you serious? We can literally put in context what all of this stuff means. You're reading headlines. You don't know anything about this case. And so like in this case here, you know, it's like, there's a video of the car. It's his car, man. It's his car. And then they don't watch the defense, which is like, it is not his car, man. That picture, that video, look at the exhaust pipe. You can't see the license plate. And then here is his car in another. This is his actual car, different exhaust. And you can see the license plate. And you don't even know who's driving that one over there. And we have reports of a bald guy driving that car with 3 people in the car. But they don't watch that part. You know, like they don't see that part because they're not actually paying attention to the trial. And they go out there all, nom, 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 nom. You're like, shut up, man. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You know? Like I have extra no like tolerance for people yapping when they don't know what they're talking about, just because of shit that happened in my fucking world in the last week where I'm like, this is embarrassing. Like you don't know, you have no fucking idea what you're talking about. Like literally you have no fucking idea what you're talking about. You're just talking, you know? Anywho, but yeah, so Oh, Snoopy, thank you very much, dude. Very generous. I appreciate you, dog. Watch Candace's emergency inside the SUV episode. Most blood is on the right seat at waist level, like CK was sitting up, not laying down. Blood and SB mostly on the left side of the seat since he entered from the right. SUV probably switched when drove on. Blake's SUV was with feet out, was a decoy to distract. Oh, shit. Now, why would they? I mean, listen, that is far, far from impossible. Man, I hadn't even thought about that. How I want, like, you, in order to be able to pull that off, you would have to have one of those moments where, you know, it's like if someone's following, you know, you have a follow car. There has to be a moment where you can't, where you wouldn't see the SUV, and then another one would need to emerge to go from there, because like everybody sees what car he gets into. I mean, it's totally plausible. But there was another report actually about a guy who said that he saw Mikey McCoy come into the hospital. This guy was, I mean, this is just some fucking guy who made a video, but he said that he saw all of them come in. And then he said he saw some other black SUV come in, and he said that it was Mikey McCoy driving it. And he went around, and then he like went somewhere in back, and then then Mikey McCoy went and then went down the road the other way, like he picked someone up. Again, complete and total hearsay based on just this one guy whose face you can't even see on the video. But that's an interesting theory, man. Let me put some. I'll think about that one.
I believe they thought that was the case.
Forgot to mention when we showed you this evidence of Tyler Robinson's car, that the person who captured it said that they saw a bald man and 3 other people.
That's insane. So the footage, yeah, that's so crazy. He's like, hey, here he is. And it's like, hey, did you talk to the person that took the video? Yes, we did. And he said, it's definitely not Tyler Robinson driving it. It's like, okay, well, it's not important. It's not important then. We'll just, we'll hurry past that, you know. Jeannie, thank you very much. And thank you for being a member for 4 months. It's your birthday today. Now, the other thing I wanted to talk about with that guy in general was based on, so if you guys saw, let me actually close this window and I'll show you. So I did a stream yesterday, or I'm sorry, on Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday. Sorry, my Gabrielle's birthday was Thursday, so it threw a whole wrench in my schedule. But I did a stream with Lauren Piretra. God, I asked her how to pronounce it, and I already butchered it. And Project Constitution, and she was talking about that same cop that was on the stand right there, and how there was some kind of there. Let me see if I can find this thing here. It's this one. So she was talking about how I don't know where I'm going to be able to find this actually, because there's not really a visual, but she was talking about how that guy that had like a super shady past, and then he's the one who told the story about his badge cam battery dying right when he got up on the roof. It's like, oh, it's fine all the way up until he got on the roof, and then suddenly, oh my gosh, it died, right? Like those kinds of things, I literally can't, you know, like I can't. It's like, okay, yeah, I get it. I can't prove that did not happen, but I also am not going to pretend like the level of convenience that provides is so overwhelming that I'm just going to have to pretend that I'm not, I can't just overtly be like bullshit, you know? Because I think I might right now just go, yep, nope, right? And just in case you guys haven't seen that, check this out, dude. It's like, oh, look at this, and then I promise we'll go to the Baron thing with Paramount, because I'm excited to go through that too. But if you guys haven't seen it, check this out.
You know what I think? I don't think there ever was a screwdriver up there. I think that screwdriver was planted there.
Whoops.
At a different time.
My bad. That's the wrong segment. Here we go.
Could you further illustrate Benny Johnson, the moment he took out that screwdriver, and why he did that? And of course, when Officer Bagley, the officer who raced over to Velozzi Center rooftop at 12:44 p.m., Charlie gets shot at 12:23. He's up there at 12:44 p.m. and he finds that screwdriver. But, mysteriously, we had another blackout, another amnesia spell, this time from a piece of tech. The body cam just died. It was just like Blake Neff. It was like, I don't know I don't remember anything. I'm just a body cam. Remember this moment?
All right, your body cam footage that I reviewed appears to end while you're still on the roof. Do you know why that is?
I think the battery went dead. It was just right at that moment.
Okay. And do you know, did you ever turn it back on that day or go get it? I don't know. What do you have to do? Charge it or stick a new battery in it? I don't even know.
Usually dock it, but no, I didn't go back. It was too chaotic running around.
So that 27-minute and 35-second body cam that starts when you're at the Hall of Flags and ends while you're still on the roof, but haven't put the crime tape up yet. That's the only body cam you have that day?
Yes.
All right.
That's sad. We received a score of emails from police officers all over the country and the world telling us that account registers to them as absolute BS, that testimony. In fact, one person informed us, and I'm going to show you this email, and obviously protecting his identity. He wrote, "We use the same body camera that the Utah City Police use, the Axon Body Cam 4 model. I would be happy to look into any questions you might have about it. It bothered me that the officer claimed his camera died when he was on the rooftop. The camera battery lasts approximately 14 hours. At the end of every shift, we have to dock our cameras all on a detachment shared dock. Dock is also what uploads all of that data and the videos from the shift onto the server. We can then review the videos on the Axon website. This website is the same across North America. The camera video also captures a GPS route of exactly everywhere the officer walked. To turn on the recording, we press the middle button twice. It automatically saves 30 seconds before that. To turn the video off, you have to hold the button down for a few seconds. At the end of the video, you can usually see the officer's hand moving toward the button and even blocking the lens a bit with their hand. I'll also mention you get a reminder when the battery is going to die. It does a high-pitched tone and vibrates 4 times at 10% left and again at 5%. So there's no way he didn't know his battery was going to die. The Axon Body 4 system also logs and records the specific reason a video stops or a device turns off. All of this information can be seen on the Axon site that the police have.
Yeah. So that part is a pretty big problem, right? So according to their story, police officers going up to the roof, just as he is going to where they supposedly found all of the, relevant evidence, the battery dies, and it just happened to die. It's the most, it's the biggest assassination, most public assassination of this generation by a mile, and you're the first police officer on scene, and your badge cam dies. And you don't think to yourself, I should probably get a partner to come and do this with me because it's so important that we don't fuck this up. It's absurd. It is literally absurd that they would have, the guy, oh yeah, my battery just died. And it's and if you look at that, how would it have just died without any kind of, everyone else gets warned. Everyone else would have had a note, on the footage specifically citing, battery, died. And, but in this case, not so much. Yeah. And this stuff, how did he reassemble the rifle if he left the screwdriver on the roof? Honestly, I don't even think about that part of the story because it's so dumb to me. It just sounds like there's something that they are trying to it's like a problem with the evidence that they have. And so they build a story to make it make sense while it's like they have, what am I trying to say here? It's like if you look at the video evidence and it's very clear he's not carrying a big rifle. Okay, well now they have to be able to explain how rifle got up to roof. And so it's like, oh, well, he must have assembled it once he was up there. It's like, do you have actual footage that shows someone assembling the rifle? And if not, why not? You know, where's that at? Where is the video of the roof, which is 24 hours? You know, it's always filming. So where's the person assembling the rifle up there? You know, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense at all. Woofy, Tyler will reach a plea deal and this will all go away. All the postos will claim victory and all that. I don't think that can be the ending. You know, I mean, maybe if he pleads guilty and they say he gets life in prison, you know, like that is the only way that could happen. But who knows? Holy base. I'm up to 3 months already. Love this community. Keep it going. Thank you very much. And by the way, the members only. So there's 2 separate kind of like special groups. There's the members only on YouTube where there's a ton of exclusive videos that we put up. And then in the side of the Discord, there's you know, the Discord where you can communicate and all that stuff with, I mean, I'm in there talking. We do like a couple special shows. Like we do, I mean, for a month where I come on stage. You can literally just come up on stage. Like literally it's just like a Zoom call for anybody who's a member of the Discord to come and Zoom call with me and Danks and whoever else is on there for, you know, I mean, it's a good time. We just talk about whatever. And behind both the members and the Discord is where the like complete, like, because the Palm Beach Pete interview we're putting together right now. And I think there's going to be one that's just the entire thing, like front to back, no edits, nothing. It's just like, here we are, front to back. And that's going to go members only in Discord. But the more kind of like refined one is going to be coming very, very soon. We just got sidetracked because of the trial, dude. It was like, because I did that interview the week of the pre-trial hearing and we were streaming hours and hours and hours every single day. And I just, you know, so that's why, but it's, Danks has seen it, you know? Okay. Anyway, so then, Nicholas, thank you very much, dude. Jesse, did you think that when they said it was supposed to be you, maybe you were the one that was supposed to be killed, but Charlie saved you by letting you go so he could make sure you were okay? No, I never considered that, only because like, how would that, you know what I mean? Like, how would that work? Like how would Charlie be in a position to take a bullet for Candace? You know, because like if they were going to kill Candace, it's because Candace did XYZ. If that was the case, what scenario could Charlie be like, I will pay in her stead? You know, like the movie Eyes Wide Shut, you know, where like Tom Cruise is about to get clipped by the cult. And then that girl is like, I will go in his place. And they, you know, imply that by the way, I think that maybe in all of American cinema, in the history of American cinema, the female with the best body ever is that girl in that movie. Like the one, the masked chick in Eyes Wide Shut that at the end steps up, you know, and is like, I'll do it. It's like, you look at it, you're like, I can't believe that is an actual human's body. I didn't know that made people that perfect, you know, with a little movie magic, I'm sure, except that's like pre CGI. So that's like her real actual body. Woofy, thank you very much. Cops were wearing scene cameras as body cams. Yeah, dude. Yeah. They were wearing the same cameras as like we're at the MDC jail. Shut up and think, what's up, my man? Jesse wears sunglasses because he's fucking on fire, bitches. That's true. I get blinded. The whole crew is proud of the work that you're doing, bro. Keep up the good work. You rock. Thank you very much. Dude, you know what I want to share with you guys right now, though, real quick, because I'm very, very curious if I'm overselling this to myself. So I did we're moving to a new house. I would say we'll probably be moving in about a month, like, because, you know, we bought the home, but we're renovating it and, or not like renovating, but we're doing we're doing renovations, but like my studio is basically like a blank slate. So I've been working on getting renderings for what my studio is going to look like. And, I'm very curious what you guys think of this, because I think it is so good that I kind of can't even take it. And I just want to make sure that I'm not like, oops, that I'm not just like completely deluding myself, you know? What do you guys think of this studio design? Like, is that, it's dope, right? Am I imagining that that is like super, super dope? Because I look at it, I'm like, that is literally exactly what I want. I don't even know if it's going to be hard. I mean, there's going to be, anyway. That was like the first design that I looked up today where I was like, oh my God, I would be so happy if that is what that ends up looking like. But I'm not exactly a super strong construction person. I have no idea how hard it would be to build it out. Vicky Graham, thank you very much for that. Very generous. Thank you. Wolfie, nobody seems to know Charlie's son's name. I wouldn't say it if I did know it. Yeah. Kristen Marie, thank you very much. She covered Celebrite Tech, who has ties to, and military and Maxwell, handled both Thomas Crooks and TR phone tech tracking related stuff. Yeah, that I bet you is not a coincidence. Not a coincidence. When people say that there are apps that are encrypted that are safe to talk on, you know, like Signal or whatever these ones are, I don't know enough about computer security to know whether or not that's true. For all I know, it's a marketing ploy where it's actually the NSA that is running Signal. And so what they're doing is actually just collecting all of the illicit communication, because if they can convince the world that Signal is top to bottom totally encrypted, and then so people actually use it, then all the illegal activity, you know, people who are going to set up, you know, violence, or people who are going to set up, you know, I don't know, whatever else, big drug deals or something, they would just be giving it straight to the feds without realizing it. It's like that. I mean, if I was in the NSA, that's exactly what I would do. I'd be like, let's set something up and convince the world that this is like the one impenetrable communication system. And then, you know, but still just kind of like allow everybody to have it anyway. Yeah, the App Store can have this. You know, it's set up specifically for illegal activity. Go ahead. Download it. You know, oh, shucks. If only we had access to that Signal. Jeez Louise. You know, I just assume every single thing that I ever say ever is being monitored. T Bizzle, thank you very much for being a member for 11 months. J-Dog, would love a Play with Matches stream with you and Gabrielle soon. Lots of love to you and your family. Thanks for all you do. Keep on keeping on. Truth Warrior, thank you very much. Yeah, I've had Gabrielle on here a fair amount recently, but we just put a video out yesterday, and we're gonna put we just filmed another one that's coming out as well. And Violet Masterpiece, thank you very much. Wolfie says, TPUSA knew the campus tours were coming to an end because of the Izzy questions. Unaliving Charlie was the only way to keep attention on them. TPUSA knew campus tours are coming to an end because of those questions. Unaliving Charlie was the only way to keep attention. Oh, you're saying like motivation for, you know, in the event that I'm right? Totally plausible, dude. Violet Masteries, happy belated to Gabrielle. I'll be 55 tomorrow. Love you guys. Thank you very much. And you know what she told me this morning? She told me it was her favorite birthday of all time. That's how you do. And you want to know why I had to come through so bad? It's because I fucked up on Mother's Day. Like on Mother's Day, like just, you know, like sometimes I don't know, like just a day when it's supposed to be, and it just kind of gets away from you, and you're kind of like just doing your thing. And then you realize, and you're like, oh shit, I didn't really plan anything that's good enough to where now my kids are kind of being super fucking annoying, and there's nothing special about this day. And then I just end at the end, and she ends up at the end of the day, just like where I can tell I'm like, oh man, she's too cool to make a thing out of it. But I know she's like, wow, awesome Mother's Day, dude. I just got done doing blah, 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 you know? So I went hard in the paint for her birthday. Dude, we did, in Austin, there's a place called the Escape Hour, and it's Austin, I think, must be like the escape room capital of the world, because there are three that I even know of, escape room places that are like, all three of them have ridiculous reviews. Like they're so sick. There's one really close to our house, and we've done all of it. Like, we fucking love them now, dude. That's like our shit, dude. Our family goes and does escape rooms all the time. And we'd done all of them at this one place except for one, and the last one's super, super hard. But I was like, God, for her birthday, dude, I can't just do like a regular one. So we went to this one called the Escape Hour, and they have like live actors. And the one we did is called The Cabin. It's literally a haunted house, but like it's a haunted house escape room. It's so fucking scary. It's so fucking scary. Where they actually had to tell me, because we brought the kids, they're like, listen, dude, like, this is really heavy. They're like, if your kids start completely freaking out, and like, you can come out and tell us to just like scale it back, and then we'll just like take the live actors out of there. And I was like, wait, it's like that scary? They're like, do we have adults freak out and try to run out all the time? I'm like, Jesus, really? And they were not lying, dude. It is fucking scary, but it's super fun. It's super hard to do the puzzles because you're terrified that you're going to get got. But anyway, that's what we did. And then Genevieve scored like 3 touchdowns in her flag football game. It's just epic. Neil and Kathy, thank you very much. Appreciate you. Smitty J, did you realize this is the same judge as that Lego conundrum? You know what? I just realized I never finished that Lego. Like, I got halfway through the Lego documentary and I was captivated. And then I got distracted and I haven't gone back to see how it ends. The guy who was doing it, the one that I was watching, where he did the thing where he's like, oh, what? This is just a franchise of mine. He is a genius. And also, that story is like the ultimate example of bad karma. It's like, oh, you thought you were going to get away with this and just it's fine. Oh, it's just fine. And it turns out like not so fine for you. Now you lost everything. Cindy Labrick, thank you very much. You are my second favorite ginger, only because my son is one. Love your channel with Gabrielle too. Thank you very much. Anybody who doesn't watch my second channel with Gabrielle called Play with Matches, the link is in the description. And it is at least the analytics say it is a better channel because people watch it longer. And that's probably because my wife is very clever and easy on the eyes. Okay, so check. Okay, hang on for a second. Let me pull this thing up here. Now, this one is the one with the cell phone in his pocket is crazy too. Oh my God. Have you guys seen this, by the way? Like, what on earth is this right here? Like, what in the world is Rob McCoy doing here? So the word is that this is in this is like at one of the like at a church in Korea. Okay. Watch this.
Korea needs freedom, and the church is the soul of this nation. It's time to stand for truth regardless of the consequences.
한국은 이 자유가 필요합니다. 그리고 교회는 국가의 양심을.
Oh my God. I'm such a moron. How on earth did I not realize that had a song in the background? Whatever. Anyway. But like, I'm going to say something here real quick about the nature of certain types of people that go into this kind of work, dude. Okay. Kathy said I was being cheap. Thank you very much. You were not being cheap. It was very generous the first time, now even more so. Termination says, Lancey Luna Twiggs interview, he answers with not really twice, except especially with the LGTB question. Not really is not and no answer. It's a yes answer. Haven't seen people pick up on that yet. Go, Jesse. Are you in his testimony? Well, he certainly said he can't identify Tyler, which is hilarious. But I'm telling you, that text conversation, it's like that's game over for me. If let's just say that one of these guys killed Charlie, I would bet anything that it's Lance, because that conversation so heavily reads like someone just writing just enough for Tyler to just vomit confess. It's ridiculous. It's so odd, and it's so bad. It's so bad that it makes me think it was Lance. Or maybe it's so bad that it's the feds doing it on purpose and doing it so bad that it's believable when they later on say it was Lance. You know, because it seems like the script is setting up for a big dramatic finish. And all the breadcrumbs for the Lance angle have been laid all along. At which point, you know, Tyler will waltz his little not guilty and not even homosexual ass right out of jail, right? They're going to clear his name. He's like, he's not even gay, man. This freak Lance Luna, whatever, pretended he was in a gay sexual relationship with Tyler. It's unbelievable. And he wasn't. Although then you'd have to be like, well, who leaked all that information about him being a crazy freak to Turkey Tom? They're like, listen, sometimes we don't exactly button all the buttons. You know, we don't cross all of our T's and dot all the I's. Every once in a while, there are just kind of blaring problems with, the things that we put out, but sometimes not, dude. Sometimes not. Rob in that Charlie wore on 910, never white before. The one that Charlie had never worn before. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Almost like he was sending a message, you know, almost like he was sending a message. I'm free. Also, white was an interesting choice. I don't know. Just things I think about. But the Rob McCoy clip that we just watched before I realized that I had put, licensed music over the top. That shit. Okay. I always try to make sure that I'm never being disrespectful to people's cultures, communities, when I'm going to be critical of a certain person or a certain type of person. So obviously we go to like Christian church. So like, this is not a knock on Christianity or Christian churches or anybody. That said, when I look at Rob McCoy, okay, there is a very specific type of personality that is drawn to that job in some cases. And in many cases, a pastor is a genuine like man of God. They want to share. They think that they have a connection with the Spirit, and they want to share that with their community. Awesome. And I would say that's probably exactly what's going on the majority of the time, vast majority. But there's also something that we don't talk about because it's like it's almost like a taboo thing to say, that to point out that playing the God card is a social cheat code. Okay. It just is. It's like one of those things where once a person invokes that card, it is very hard to challenge them on anything that they say, because it's like, it feels like you're attacking someone's religion, or it feels like they are, or maybe like you're some kind of, blasphemy or whatever. It's just like, it's like a very thick shield that someone can wear as a person who is communicating with the world. And I find that having been blessed with whatever this thing is that I can do, where I can see what people are, right? Where I look and I go, okay, I got them. People who are hardwired to be full of shit on a level that is actually challenging to describe if you can't see it with your own eyes. Some of them end up in those roles, like lots of them, where you're looking and you're like, I wouldn't, this guy, if I asked this guy a question about anything, I wouldn't believe his answer no matter what. Like, I wouldn't believe anything that this person said to me. Like nothing. Now, Frank Turek is not one of those people. Frank Turek, I know people get in, Frank Turek is whatever. I don't agree with that at all. Frank Turek comes off as a very genuine person who is doing what he thinks is right. Like his personality, I would not put him in this category at all. He seems to me like a genuine actor. I realize people probably are, whatever, depending on where you stand on this thing. I'm just telling you what my impression of people are. But this dude is exactly what I'm talking about. Like, just from a personality standpoint, like, he is exactly what I'm referencing when I say that, like, people who are naturally like, I say things big. I've been doing this my whole life. I'm out front, you know. I'm running for president of my school class. I'm trying to be the captain of the football team. They don't end up usually being the captain because everyone around them, you know, in those like younger, more closed environments can sense it's like not exactly like that kind of leader. But a lot of them, they end up ascending through this type of thing, and they end up on stages, and you're like, gosh, man, this is a person who lies better than he tells the truth. And that is exactly the impression that I get of Rob McCoy. Can't explain it better than that. But in a lot of cases too, wouldn't you be embarrassed to do this? Like, go to like that's how you're going to try to bring Christianity and spread your guys's, you know, church teachings to South Korea. I mean, it seems just, I don't know. Seems pretty fucking cheeseball to me, and also very weird. But anyway, Colleen, thank you very much. Hey, can I get an email address? I created a set design for you to ponder over. Ooh, I like it. RealJesseOnFire@gmail. Here, I will put it in the chat. RealJesseOnFire@gmail. Also, in the event that you follow me on X, which everyone should, my handle is RealJesseOnFire. And important note is that like Instagram DMs, is extraordinarily unlikely I will ever see it. I can't, like, you know, like when an inbox gets away from you or whatever, like my Instagram DM like request box is beyond the pale. At this moment, Joe Rogan could DM me on Instagram. I would never see it until probably 6 months later when I'd be like, oh my God. Although that's not true because I follow him, so I would get it, but whatever. Anyway, so DM on X or RealJesseOnFire@gmail. Nicholas Sharney, thank you very much. Why not also, he could have had the foresight of this coming. Jesus. He could have had the foresight of this coming. He talked about the little hats after she did. He was a bigger voice, but Candace could have brought a lot of African Americans to TPUSA. Again, okay. But like, for people who are going to actually commit like a political assassination or a murder, like it's for a purpose. Like there's like a reason they would do it. There's no reason that someone would kill Candace, where Charlie could just go, you know what, guys, I'm going to sacrifice myself for her. You let her live, as you promised you let her live if I die. It's like, I don't like how, like, I don't like, there's no logic there that makes any sense to me. Maybe I'm missing something. If I'm like completely missing this, you guys, please feel free to like catch me up. Cause I don't, I don't know. Anyway, thank you for the super chat. Terminator X, thank you very much. Yes, court online interview answers with not really. A lot of people reading that as no answer, but it's a clear yes. Nothing. Noting that from the rainbow gender questions he was asked, trans number one topic is this. Can like what was he answering that in response to? Like what questions was asked when he responded with that? Scotty Ellison. What's up, dude? Scotty Ellison, candidate for governor of Georgia and a mod in my chat, dude. That's what kind of community we have here, okay? We have governor candidates, without a doubt, the highest collection of beautiful female viewers, primarily because of my wife. The definite highest collective IQ of any chat that you will ever see. If you read my chat, it's a bunch of really smart people and people with a fucking amazing sense of humor because they think I'm funny, which just means a nose for comedy that no one could ever challenge. All right. So Rob McCoy's a weirdo. That's the takeaway from that. And let me show you this thing too. So where is this thing, dude? Come on. Where did the Tyler Robinson? Oh, that's why, dude. I'm such an idiot. I was looking for an X, and this is actually a TikTok. Okay. So check this out. So this is like, I mean, this speaks for itself. Yep. So he's looking into the parking lot. You see the phone. It looks like there's a phone in his pocket. And then 1 minute and 16 seconds is cut from the video. You see that? Look at that again. Okay. Watch the time. It jumps from 1:53:17 to 1:54:33. Now that is super shady. Super shady, man. And then you see. Now I don't know. I don't know necessarily about the two. Man, that does not look like Tyler Robinson, man. It just does not look like him at all. It looks so much more like Lance, but the thing about the hair, it is possible that he like tied his hair into a bun. You know, like if he put his hair into a bun, this could actually have bunned hair in it. That is not impossible, actually. I think that, I mean, like, very easily there could be a big, samurai bun of hair up here. I can't believe that I even said the word samurai and Lance Twiggs in the same paragraph. But who's he waiting for? Like, who's he looking for? And where's that minute go? Why would they cut that out? Why is there footage getting cut out? Like, I mean, shit, they could just be like, well, it's because he was just standing there. He didn't do anything for a full minute. Okay. Why would you cut that out? You're telling us that this is the assassin. You cut it out because it was boring or what? Like, what do you, how do you know that there's not something in there that people might catch? How do you know someone walking by, car, something he did, whatever? There's no reason to cut that out for it being boring. So, like, why did it get cut out? Very, 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 very sus. Now, let's do this. Okay. So this is the one that I referenced earlier on. And I will openly tell you in advance, I am very biased in this case because I love Barron and I tend to defend my friends. But also, I genuinely mean that one of us, one of these two people has a vested interest in pushing a single narrative and seems to never even entertain the other side of the conversation, that being Paramount Tactical. And then you have Barron, who's been doing research and then showing everybody his own work. It's not like he comes up with conclusions and doesn't show people where it came from. Okay, so Baron Coleman is truly evil and disgusting. I was like, whoa. That's why I stopped on this. I was like, wow, that's aggressive. It says, this video exposes everything you need to know about Barron. Every claim he makes comes straight from his own depraved imagination. Pure fiction, zero evidence. Now that's where I go, you know what? This seems like a totally unbiased post. Listen, I know if it were me and I was going to challenge something that was put out by someone who I disagreed with, very first thing I do is I attack their character. Say, listen, guys, this is an evil and disgusting man. And it all came from his depraved imagination, pure fiction, zero evidence. I'm like, I am having my spidey senses hit right now saying this guy doesn't seem like he would be biased in his forthcoming take. He goes even further by accusing Brian Harpole of smuggling a pre-fired projectile in the SUV and claims a member of the security team physically shoved the round into Charlie's wound. Okay, I haven't seen this clip. These aren't questions or analysis. They're grotesque, evidence-free fantasies from someone who knows exactly how to prey on grief and distrust. Barron pushes this garbage with not a scintilla. Scintilla. Wow. I am going to steal that word after I double check that it means a measurement of some kind. Not a scintilla approved, no ballistics. No, I mean, I would assume a very small measurement of something. There's no, okay. So no bottom to the depravity, desecrated dead man's memory, smear honorable people who risk their lives protecting him, fleece gullible audience, chase. Okay. Anyway, let's see what he said.
Died at the scene.
Because again, I've never heard him just throw any kind of just random, oh no, I know exactly what happened. And it is that lightning struck Tyler Robinson's booty. And then the gun went off to whatever. It's like the 30-aught. Did you guys see, by the way, anybody see Valhalla's new 30-06 test video? Because you should definitely watch that. It's shadow banned as fuck. But I mean, it's that again for the 100th time ends the conversation. Me and Heavy Duty Country are going to be doing the 223 one on Monday.
Like Frank Turek describes in his different discussions, as Brian Harpole described, if he supposedly died at the scene, just fold him up and close the door. Why are you risking someone falling out of the car at highway speeds?
What, Zach? That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. You just bend his legs. It's not like he's got rigor mortis yet. That takes a while to set in.
And that is where person in like the super chat that I got earlier, where they entertained that maybe it was a decoy car. Super fucking smart. Maybe. Totally maybe. And again, like the idea that what I'm doing right now is some kind of super high end, like trick people because of their grift. It's like, that's definitely not what I'm doing. That's why I've been like, dude, I would debate anybody on this thing because I can't lose. It's impossible for me to lose a debate because I don't know what happened. I have no idea what happened. So like, what part of this are you going to debate me on? You're going to try to convince me that a 30-06 is likely to have stopped in Charlie's neck. We've done every test ever. So like, if you can't defend that position, then I would just throw the question back over the fence. So what do you think happened? You think that this is just magic? Like that's one thing. What do you think it means that there's a complete and total lack of blood trail from A to B and they're going over cement? You've either seen it, right? Like, what does it mean? Did his wound get cauterized instantly because there was some kind of electric shock? I mean, I don't know, dude. I wasn't there. All I know is very, per my many sources with lots of combat experience and also other sources from prison where they've seen 1 million people get stabbed. Okay. Go follow my boy Dubs if you guys don't already. I don't know a lot of people who are intelligent and can talk to you about what it was like to live for a decade in the shoe in Pelican Bay. Okay. Guys like that don't almost ever end up free. But yeah, he's the one who pointed that out to me. He was like, you know what I noticed? He's like, there's no blood trail. I was like, no blood trail. He's like, there's always a blood trail. Whenever guys get gurneyed off, always a blood trail. And I was like, yeah, that makes absolutely no sense, actually. His neck exploded. Anyway, so like, what happened? Why? There are too many inconsistencies that cannot be explained for me to ever lose a debate because I'd just be like, okay, cool. You got a good, awesome answer for that. Like, so you're sure Tyler Robinson did it? Yes, I'm sure Tyler Robinson did it. Okay, how come his roommate's DNA is on every single piece of evidence? Every single one. Does it bother you that this text conversation happened at midnight and that the rifle that he's referencing in the text was recovered hours before that? And everybody has acknowledged that Tyler Robinson woke up really early, which means it's very likely he'd be asleep at midnight, which means Lance could very easily be playing both sides of this conversation on his cell phone and Tyler's cell phone, and then just delete the messages out of Tyler's phone like every crazy ex-girlfriend has done since time immemorial in the text message age, and somebody who confessed on Discord after Tyler was in custody. You think maybe that Lance could have done it? Is that possible? No, it's not possible. Oh, it's not possible? It's impossible that Lance could have done it? Yes. Really? What was he doing during the event? Where was Lance Twiggs while Charlie was getting shot, according to Lance Twiggs? Well, I'm sure that he had a solid alibi. Yeah, his solid alibi was he was sleeping till 1 by himself. Only person in the apartment. Tyler had left at 7 and he slept until 1. Conveniently, 40 minutes after Charlie got shot. 1. Well, he's a young kid. They'll sleep till 1. That's true. That's true. Have you looked into his history of violence? Have you actually compared the history of violence that Tyler has versus Lance? Do you know who Sky Valdez is? You know anything about that situation? Person who looks similar, almost identical to both like Lance and Tyler, who said Charlie Kirk will be dead at 31, put a song out same day, picture of a prone shooter on the roof, do you know anything about them? No. What the fuck do you know about this case, man? What do you know about this case? Well, I know he's on video. I know that Tyler confessed. Well, we just went over the confessions. Well, they also said that he confessed to his parents. Really? Are his parents going to testify and confirm that? Because I definitely have not heard that from any official sources at all. What else you got? Well, his DNA is on that. Well, so is Lance's. Does this text thread read authentic to you? Should we keep going? Like, what else do you want to see here? Do you want me to get into the TPUSA side? Or should I just stick to should we stick to what they're going to do in the case or the other side of this? You know what I mean? I'll dog walk anybody. I'll fucking dog walk them because I don't know what any of it means, but I can guarantee they won't be able to answer any of those fucking questions. Twigs was asked, did you and Tyler discuss LGBTQ or gender politics? Twigs answers, not really. People have digested that answer as a no. Come on, 2 gay men never discuss those issues. No, totally. I agree that is, kind of unlikely, but not really. Also, I don't think it's that unlikely either because like I was saying earlier in the stream, the only confirmation we even have that Tyler was gay and in a gay relationship is from Lance. And then whatever that was that leaked that information out, that the single greatest leak of information in the history of public investigations. Oh, this guy came forward and he says that here's Lance is crazy. Look at all of his drawings. He used to nest. He did this. 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 Here are all the pictures. Go ahead and put it out on the internet. Don't worry about it. It was incredible. Little too good to be true. But it's so between those, so that super sus weird leak and Lance himself, those are the only 2 confirmations that Tyler's even gay. He could be getting framed for the crime and being framed as gay. And if someone did that to him, he must have fucking pissed him off, man. Because, geez, okay, you could frame me for murder, but if I've never had sex with a man, you better not pretend that I have, because that's where I draw the line, and that's where I'm going to have to call you unethical. You know what I mean? It's a joke, guys. It's a joke. It was a joke, okay? To all my gays, I was joking around. It's just a joke.
So you just bend his legs and you close the door. Why would they're going 65, 70 miles an hour for 12 minutes? And you got 3 police reports of someone hanging out of the car and they think it's a victim. What in the hell?
And I've heard those police recordings. So that those are authentic. I mean, unless they were fabricated and then put onto official sites, but I've heard those calls.
Else could that mean? I can't. Go ahead.
Well, I want to say that I believe that when Brian Harpole went on the Sean Ryan show, they may have been anticipating this because they would have known these broadcasts existed if they'd have done any kind of research. And I think they anticipated that people would hear about this. And so Brian Harpole goes on the Sean Ryan show and Frank Turek goes on the Megyn Kelly show, and they describe that, on the way there, they were holding each other. Charlie's such a tall man, they couldn't close the door behind him. So they're holding on to each other and people are trusting each other that they don't let each other fall out of the car. I'm looking back at that and saying, no, that sounds to me like you guys were setting up a story that you knew we would eventually trip over these calls, and you guys wanted to preempt any reasonable conclusion and go ahead and try to plant your own version of events.
Can you expand on your working hypothesis?
Yeah, I can. There are so many things that went wrong, starting with the t-shirt moving in the way it moved, that is totally and wholly inconsistent with a gunshot to the neck. You know, the whole t-shirt comes up, a medallion on his necklace flies into his neck. His hands, the way they grip the microphone, looks to me like he got electrocuted. His ring disconnected from his ring finger and then sticks to his pinky finger for about a full second. It's not affected by gravity, almost as if there's some sort of an electromagnetic pull.
So that I find very, very interesting because, well, first of all, let me rewind real quick because I wanted to say something about the Sean Ryan interview that Harpole did, because there definitely is something to consider as it relates to the timing of that. It was like that happened right as this thing really started to spin up, you know, where you could kind of feel which direction it was going. He went out and because like he had this whole kind of, what would you want to do to a person? He's clearly talking about like Candace, who had started pointing fingers over there. And the part that I found very interesting is when Sean asked him whether or not Charlie had a pulse in the car. He says, did he have, you know, was he breathing? Did he have a pulse? And Harpole looks like a deer in headlights because he realizes at that moment, I think this is my interpretation, is he realizes in that moment, there's no scenario where this is an experienced combat veteran from a SEAL team. I can't, like, there's no world where I can say yes, or I wouldn't know the answer to this. And I also have no idea what other people have said to this question. And so like, that's how I again, this is just me reading the poker table. Like, if, you know, if someone went, I'm all in, and then I was looking at Harpole, I'd be like, oof, he is not happy about his hand right there. He looks like top pair on a flush draw to me, you know? And he just realized he's going to have to commit his entire stack hoping to pull a diamond on the river, you know? It's like, big gamble, dude. Big fucking gamble. Are you going to say, no, he didn't have a pulse? Or are you going to say, yes, he had a pulse without knowing what someone else said? And if he is concerned about that and he has that same, you know, flush draw look, and if I read that correctly, what does that mean? What would that indicate if I read that right? Think on that. Because it could only mean that the story he's telling is not aligned with what actually happened, without throwing any kind of intention of like why he'd be lying. But that's the only explanation I could think of for why he would be on a flush draw right there with that question
on that ring. And then you have this.
I'm sorry. And then on this side, on the electrocution side, that makes perfect sense to me. And there's only one reason I could think of that someone would have an electric shock going through their body at this exact moment. Right? Now, I would love to hear another one. Now, there might be like high energy weapons that I'm unaware of, and that could explain it. Like that's basically, I'll say this. You got two options that I could think of. A, some kind of direct energy weapon or something, some kind of futuristic weapon I'm not aware of. Okay. Actually, let's say three. That's option one. Number two would be some kind of weapon that is an electric weapon that's on his body, you know, and is there to kill him. Right. Option two. But if that's the case, why is there a wound in his neck? You don't need to kill him twice. Right. And the third one, which I find most interesting, would be in the event that the timing to make it look like he was shot would be timed perfectly with him getting tased, some kind of taser attached to his body that's running a current of electricity to make it appear that he is in a spinal cord injury, like shutdown and fall, make it that much more believable. Because if you watch people who are attacking cops and they're, you know, doing whatever, and the cops zap them and it gets them good enough, they just go completely stiff and they fall over like they have no control over their body. And it would look just like someone actually got shot in the event that you timed that correctly. I'm Not saying that's what happened. I have no idea. But the electric shock thing, those are the only three things I could think of.
Medical report of a broken series of vertebrae from the C1 or 2 all the way down to the C7 or T1. It's and then you had the couple of wounds on his arm that almost looked like a taser or some sort of puncture wound. I just think that they brought Charlie into that what looks like a death arena and said, we're going to go after him 4 or 5 different ways, and then we're going to break his neck in the car. And he's not walking out of this alive. There's a 0% chance he leaves Orem, Utah alive. And that is my working hypothesis, that yes, something exploded under his shirt. Yes, something went wrong with the microphone and caused an electrification. Yes, something punctured his neck. I don't know if it was a bullet or what it was.
Oh my God. Jordan Rowe. It's because of specific critiques like this that I was able to build the audience that I have so far, you know? Like getting to 600,000 subscribers would have never been possible if it wasn't for people letting me know. You will never hit 1 million subs with content like this. Every time I click on you, you're on this shit. Oh my God. Now, while I put you in timeout and you sit and think about what you did for 5 minutes, let me respond like this. How many people do you know who have built their own YouTube channel to 600,000 subscribers? The question I would have then after you say 0 would be, why on earth would you think that you're in a position to give me advice on something like this if you're being nasty? If you have like specific advice, I would love to hear it. But you will never get to, oh, okay, guy. Okay, guy. Also, I could give you a much more serious answer if you gave me something to work with, but you didn't, and you can't for 5 minutes. So you have 5 full minutes in timeout to think of something good to say in response, and then we can talk again.
Yes, his neck bones were broken. Something happened there. Yes, something wounded his arm. There's just too much going on. It's like they didn't want to risk him being Rasputin and live through a 1 or 2 attempts. They wanted to make sure he was finished off no matter what. And I think what they're describing in the police, at least a way to interpret it, what the police are describing on the way to the hospital is a guy fighting back, a guy struggling is what it sounds like to me.
Okay, here we go. So wait, that's the clip? That's the whole clip. Okay, that's wild. I'm going to come back to that in 1 second. Bobby, Jesse, look for my prior message. Google Erica Kirk's stepbrother pic looks like Tyler. Yes, I've seen that. And I actually spoke about this in a couple of different streams. It appears that they are flooding the internet with these like super out there kind of dumb things that have been disproven over and over and over. And I think that's one of them. And the reason I think they're doing that, and I can thank Barron specifically actually for laying this out to me in like out, you know, external of the platform, was because it was like, there seems to be a lot of this shit. All of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, hey, it was Erica's brother that was on the campus. And then it was like, I don't know, there's a bunch of stuff like that. And I was specifically that one I was looking at, and he's like, it's a tactic. They flood social media with these really, really dumb, you know, conspiracy theories. And then when people, you know, bite on them, like if I talked about that publicly and said that I bought into it, well, now once it's disproven, they can just point at that and go, isn't that the guy that said blah, blah? I mean, it's not like I haven't already done that to myself, because, you know, they could just come to me and they're like, isn't that the guy who said that Charlie might be alive and living in a compound? It's like, I mean, I think it's a little bit more complicated than that. Because again, like the reason I can't lose in a debate, I don't know what happened. I'm just saying I'm looking for a way that this right here, this fact right here, which is an indisputable fact, can exist in reality, because it has to mean something. So it's like, all right, well, could it mean this? And then if the same thing answers a lot of those questions, then, you know, you have to entertain the theory. And like today, we're entertaining the theory that Lance framed Tyler. Lance did literally, and then we're also trying to figure out why, like, there's so much devotion to this specific, you know, mainstream official story when it's like, how are they just all ignoring this? And then you have to ask yourself why, like this much bigger thing here. It's just weird, dude. It's just weird. But to the point that I was making a second ago, what did, and you guys saw, I went into this completely blind. I literally started this by reading Paramount's post, which says, now I'm going to read it all because like how specifically it's a lie. Unless he's talking about a different, okay, so like he attached his clip, right? This is not a retweet. Gary attached this clip, right? So he says, Baron Coleman is truly evil and disgusting. This video exposes everything you need to know about Baron Coleman. Every claim he makes comes straight from his own depraved imagination, pure fiction, zero evidence. Okay, well, he specifically said in the parts where he was hypothesizing that he was hypothesizing. So that's just one thing to address. Then he goes even further by accusing Brian Harpole of smuggling a pre-fired projectile in the SUV and claims a member of the security team physically shoved the round into Charlie's wound. Well, why didn't you put that in the clip then? Like, why didn't you why is that clip not attached to this if that's what he said? These aren't questions or analysis. They're grotesque, evidence-free fantasies from someone who knows exactly how to prey on grief and distrust. Again, dude, this is exactly what he said. This is exactly what he said to me. Oh, on something. And I'm like, dude, you couldn't find a clip of me being disrespectful to you or anyone else. Every single time that I've challenged anyone's findings, it's with complete and total sound logic. And I also say, I really genuinely don't know. What I do know is that I actually did the work and went to Heavy Duty Country's ranch with every single type of 30-06 ammunition, including frangible rounds that I bought for $12 a piece that were World War II relics because they're the only frange rounds I could find. And all of them obliterated much more tissue and bone than would be required to go through Charlie's neck. Bottom line, we went out and tested it. We did the thing with the frange rounds 6 different ways. They always went through and like ripped through, among a million other things, you know. But like in this case, this is crazy because it's like, I mean, this is just like, these are just personal attacks. And then he puts a clip here that is like, there's nothing. This is not an unsound clip at all from Baron. Baron pushes his garbage with not a squintilla of proof, no ballistics, no forensics, no witnesses, nothing. Okay, but like, this is the thing, dude. When people who know ballistics all point out, or people who go and test the ballistics all do those ballistic tests and then point out that the official story makes no sense, like, where's the, you know what I mean? If you only challenge it, if you're only challenging anything coming from people who are asking questions, you got to just kind of go, why? You know? There's no bottom to this depravity. And again, it's I mean, you guys, if you guys watch my content, know you guys know what my motivation was for even to have done the series that I did. I was trying to defend. I'm always trying to defend everybody, unless I am in this case pointing out, I don't think that this is an honest critique at all. I think this is an extremely intentional, dishonest critique because it's just talking shit. And then there's nothing in this clip that represents what was in the post. But it does say you don't hate these people enough. You want to know when I get it on for people? When they say things like that without a very, very solid reason. Now, at the same time, I was doing a video earlier with Gabrielle, and we were looking at a transcript of those fake text messages, and it was one on Facebook, and some chick in the comments had said about Tyler Robinson. She wrote, "He's a hero." And yeah, I shit down that psychotic bitch's throat for sure. And you don't hate those people enough. But again, those are people who are tap dancing on a person's grave. Like they're like celebrating a murder because they got fed some tailored, intentional misrepresenting what he said. I can't with that shit anymore. I literally can't. I can't with this shit. Charlie said that he would never get on a plane if a black person was flying it. It's like, shut the fuck up. That's not what he said, you lying fuck. That's not what he said at all. AOC, you know what? Just for old time's sake, real quick. Okay, just for old time's sake, let's run through and let's talk about people you don't hate enough. Okay. Because this is one of the most reprehensible things I've ever seen a human do.
I think gentleman Representative Green.
This was on September 19th, guys. This is September 19th. Not even a week and a half after Charlie Kirk had been murdered, shot in the neck in front of all of America. Okay. Oh, and by the way, this is Nate's video right there. So after we're done with the stream, oh shit, you know what? I'll show it to you guys actually here in a second. But listen, this is AOC. You remember that she did this when she runs for president. Like, this is a thing that she did when she tries to tell, oh, she's a maverick that's running her own program. Yeah, fucking right. If she is running her own program, then she made the decision to do this. And if she's not, she works for people who made the choice to write this down for this puppet to say out loud 1 week after Charlie got murdered.
For his graciousness. Today, the Republican House majority brought to the floor a resolution honoring, quote, honoring the life and legacy of Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk's assassination was a horrific and vile attack and incident of political violence. And condemning the depravity of Kirk's brutal murder is a straightforward matter, one that is especially important to help stabilize an increasingly unsafe and volatile political environment where everyday people feel more at risk.
Hey, but don't worry, guys. There's a but coming after that. It is very important that we condemn this violence. But
we can deeply disagree and come together as a country to denounce the horror of this killing. And it is not a license for the abuse of power and whitewashing of American history. Today's resolution only underscores the majority's recklessness by choosing to author this condemnation and honoring on a purely partisan basis, instead of uniting Congress in this tragedy with one of the many bipartisan options to condemn political violence and Kirk's murder, as we did with the late Melissa Hortman. Instead, the majority proceeded with a resolution that brings great pain to the millions of Americans who endured segregation, Jim Crow, and the legacy of bigotry today. We should be clear about who.
Hey, why is that? What about the resolution is bringing pain to people who endured segregation? Exactly. Don't worry, she's going to tell you guys.
Who Charlie Kirk was. A man who believed that the Civil Rights Act that granted Black Americans the right to vote was a mistake. Who after
is that right? So he believed that the Civil Rights Act, which granted Black Americans the right to vote, was a mistake. Do you hear that slippery ass language? Because that makes it sound like Charlie Kirk didn't think that Blacks should be allowed to vote in the United States. Very intentional and 100% misleading. That is not at all what he said, even a little bit. But these stupid fucks who listen to this kind of horseshit would not know that, because of course they're not going to go watch the actual clip, because he was extremely clear about what he was saying. And in no way, it had nothing to do with Black Americans at all. First of all, it had to do with the application of that act in certain situations. It was never racist. It was never it had nothing to do with any type of bigotry at all. And yet speechwriters, which 100% knew that, chose this time, 1 week after he got murdered, to misrepresent his views and make it seem like he didn't think Blacks should vote in America. They are fucking garbage. Literally absolute garbage. This is the kind of shit where I'm like, God, man, if you ever hear me even entertain that I would vote for one of these fucks, you just remind me of this moment right here. And I'd be like, dude, I know whatever you think is happening that's so important that you would vote for AOC. You just fucking watch this. And I'd be like, yep, nope. I'm just going to abstain because this is insane that they did this. It's not even close to over either. It's like you pretended that he didn't think blacks in America should vote, which is an absolute outright lie. Like it could not be more of a lie if you tried.
Violent attack on Paul Pelosi claimed that, quote, some amazing patriot, unquote, should bail out his brutal assailant, and accused Jews of.
Oh my God. Oh, so now Charlie was super excited about Paul Pelosi getting attacked with a hammer and almost okay, sure, dude. I'm sure that you just never seen that clip of Charlie completely out of character being like, yay, psycho who came in and attacked the husband of the Speaker of the House. Like, give me a fucking break. It's all lies.
Controlling, dude. Quote, not just the colleges. It's the nonprofits, it's the movies, it's Hollywood, it's all of it.
Oh, wait a second. Charlie said that wealthy Jewish donors control banking and the movies and Hollywood and lobbying. Unbelievable. That must be super racist and anti-Semitic as opposed to just a simple thing that you can observe yourself that no smart person would ever even deny. It's just a thing that he said, which is factually accurate. Are you saying that's not true, AOC? Like, give me a fucking break.
His rhetoric and beliefs were ignorant, uneducated, and sought to disenfranchise millions of Americans.
1 week after he got shot. This is what she said in front of Congress. 1 fucking week.
Far from the working tirelessly to promote unity, unquote, asserted by the majority in this resolution.
Oh, because what would probably be better than watching you fucking lie through your teeth is maybe why don't you watch one of the things that Charlie did, watch any event that he's ever done where he invited people who disagreed with him to come up and have a conversation with him. But no, it's much better if you read this statement of lies that whatever fuckhead works for you or you work for fed you and had you read. It's disgusting, dude. Like, this is everything wrong with the country in general. Like, don't get me wrong. If you think that like the Republicans are above doing something like this, I guarantee they're not. I mean, I'm guaranteed they're not. But not like this, I don't think, dude. Like, this is a level of actually, you know what? No, I actually take that back. They're not going to do this. They're not going to do this 7 days, 9 days after, like, let's just say, I don't know, pick someone that the right doesn't like, Ilhan Omar or something. If she got shot and killed, first of all, you want to know what I would do? Is I would have the exact same reaction as I did to Charlie. I would go on, I would be like, look, like I would tell the story that I heard about her being in France and some guy in Anna Paulina Luna told. I always want to tell this story about Ilhan Omar because she gets fucked with a lot, obviously. But like Anna Paulina Luna told the story that when they were overseas in Europe with the convoy or whatever you call it, like a group of them, that some French guy talked shit about Trump to them. And Ilhan Omar with Anna Paulina Luna, there was like, yeah, that's the American president. If you speak about him to us, you need to respect, you need to show some fucking respect. That you just punked him, dude. And that's all I need to know. What is this going on? My thing just started glitching out. Oh my God. Am I connected to the right Wi-Fi? Yep, I am. I don't know why that happened. Anyway, that's all I need to know. That story right there where I'm like, okay, we can disagree on whatever. She can appear to be like race baiting too much or whatever. But that tells me we're on the same team because I think the Democrat versus Republican intentional, like the shit that this is why this pisses me off so much. This is intentional and it's not done by Democrats, like specifically. It's not like she's a puppet, man. The people who do this are doing it on purpose to make us fight with each other. Okay. And like that's at least one benefit of the Charlie Kirk case is like people are all looking in the same direction, finding the same problems, whatever. And you know, like it doesn't really matter if you're left, right, or the other. Lauren that I did the stream with day before yesterday, she's like super hardcore Democrat. And we have like, and she's just normal. Like, you think that I'm like, oh my God, this chick sucks because she's a damn. I mean, I'm not like a hardcore Republican either, you know. That's another good thing about this current, like the current administration is it's just makes it very clear, like where people's, and not like in a bad way necessarily for everybody. It's just kind of like, okay, if this person says they're an independent, are they? And it's like, well, where did they stand here and how they stand now? It's like you could pick out the people who are thinking for themselves and will change their mind based on new information. Me, of course, being one of those people. Alex Jones also being one of those people. And there's a million other people. Sean Ryan, Sean Johnson too. I mean, like there's tons and tons and tons and tons of us. Heavy duty country. But it's like, I don't know if I'm doing a good job explaining it. It's like this is not just about Democrats. It is a specific thing that was being done by Democrats at like for a long, like recent period, in addition to a bunch of other shit, you know. But
it is equally important that Congress does unite to reject the government's attempt to weaponize this moment into an all-out assault on free speech across the country, all in the name of Charlie Kirk. President Trump and the FCC are now cynically threatening to shut down ABC and any outlets who give airtime to the administration's political critics. This is a disgusting attack on the American people and the very first.
See what actually happened there. What actually happened there was that Jimmy Kimmel pretended that Trump had been shot by a right-wing MAGA supporter, which was a lie. Like that's what actually happened. So there was like that's what happened. I mean, you know, again, I don't agree with everything Trump does. And as a matter of fact, at the time of anything about like shut down the news, I'm just like, what the fuck is this? But I was very, very not that way right after Charlie got shot and I was like, fuck Kimmel, fuck anybody that is even like, why are you not at least decent enough to just acknowledge that this is a tragedy? That's it, dude. Just acknowledge it's a tragedy and then move along. If you want to talk shit about him, give it a month, dude. Give it a fucking month. And that's what I'm saying. That's like that was a huge indication of like mainstream Democrat culture. And that's another thing. That's why like I can pick out people who are technically Democrats that are not like that based on how they've, you know, kind of discussed this case. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not like I'm not saying like all Democrats are do this shit. Talking about the people behind people like AOC do this intentionally, and they do it to tear make this group hate this group, that hate this group, because it's so easy to control everything. If you really think about how things play out, it's like if they can manufacture reasons for the population to be upset in one direction or the other, then they can make the solution be a solution that they control. Like I was thinking about this yesterday, how when you know Trump was running in 2024, right? And this was, you know, I feel like people who only watch mainstream left-wing news did not understand at all the trans thing, because I think that whole thing was like hidden from them. She's talking like regular left-wing, like just regular like Democrat people, and they're like, what is it with these guys and this trans thing? They're like, they make up like 0.1% of the population. Like, how is this some big issue? And these are like smart people. And you're like, what, like, what do you mean? What is the issue? Like, how do you not see the problem where states are literally making it okay for a 6'6" dude who says he's a girl to go blow out all of the NCAA tournament records? Like, it's absurd. It's absurd. And it's one of those things where like a really smart person who's playing this out and has the ability to kind of like, you know, string pull, it's not rocket science where that was going to put public sentiment after like 8 years of shoving it on people. It was going to make people super fucking mad, right? To make them super mad. And then so if you already know that that's coming, then all you have to do is just feed them the solution, right? Just feed them the solution. Here's the guy, we are going to shut down we're going to shut down the whatever. It's like, if you think about how effective the phone is at shaping your opinion and your emotional reactions to things, anything that can be controlled as it relates to you as an individual can be projected as control to the masses since we got televisions. Televisions, they used to have control of the 3 stations. So it was like, just all we got to do is make sure that they see what's on these 3 stations. It gets a lot bigger, starts to be a problem. So then they consolidate them. They buy them. Now there's not very many people. But then you have social media. Social media gets a little bit, it's out of control. But you're still exerting control through much more sophisticated means. And I don't know, man. It's just like, there are certain things that should be above that manipulation, and a person who is an American getting murdered should be one of those things. Like, even fucking dude, Lindsey Graham, at least with Lindsey Graham, when people are like, oh gosh, hey, I wonder if he's having a good time in Hades. It's like, well, yeah, because this is like critique that people have seen with their own eyes. It's not like you're not just like reading a fucking tagline. Everyone has seen this guy go on television a million times and be like, we need to keep bombing them and bombing them and bombing them, bomb them some more, man. Yeah, you should invade, blah, blah, blah. Every time a person talks, they are advocating for death, destruction, and the use of our resources to go kill people. Okay, but I still do have the decency not to like go on social media and like fuck Lindsey Graham to dirt. You know what I mean? I don't know. That clip pisses me off every time, dude. I literally can't. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see something real quick. Dude, I will acknowledge, if like people who smoke weed and have the clarity, that happens to me. Very, very, very challenging to get anything by a person who's in that state. I just can't do it very often because it's too much. Cause like it's almost like you want to be somewhat oblivious to like some of the input that's coming into your brain. If you're a person who has the screen on a lot, if you're in front of your internet, if you're in front of your phone, if like, however you're getting messaging, it's nice to not have it be so, it's hard to explain. When I use that particular substance, it's overwhelming for me. I have to basically just hang out with like my wife. I could do it with my wife, my brother, my best friend, Mike, because I could just relax and just shut everything down. But too much input, very challenging. Let me see here. We need we need a Discord pass for mods or a channel to be aware of them. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I know. Danks told me about that. Like, I'll have Danks make it, dude, because it'll just take him 2 seconds. I mean, one thing I like, wait, hang on. So I just wish everyone would be honest, tell the truth. It's disgusting when they blatantly lie to us. Like I got it pisses me off more than anything. Trump looks at us like we're all stupid, useless idiots. I don't know. I mean, I don't think that that's unique to Trump, but I mean, I wish that they like, it's not, what's the right way to put this, man? What pisses me off actually about this administration, the thing that pissed me off the most is like when we went and invaded Iraq, the amount of effort that went into selling us that this needed to be done was overwhelming. Like, they did so much work on the front side. It all ended up being lies. Well, I don't know all, but like, the reason we were given was not true, obviously. And, you know, you go into Afghanistan, you got to wonder about that. Going to Afghanistan 1 year after the Taliban had outlawed the production of poppy and opium, and it was the number one opium production country in the world in terms of, illicit export. And within 1 year of us invading the production, it had dropped something like 96% in 1 year. Taliban banned it. It dropped 96%. Why do you think that is? Because if you break the law with the Taliban, they're going to chop your hand off, kill your family, and then skin you alive. Okay. Pretty fucking strong motivator to not be on the wrong side of that, hand of justice. We go in, we secure all of those farming areas, and then instantaneously it's turned back on. It's like, I wonder why that was such a big priority. Neither here nor there. But again, like, they put a bunch of effort in on the front side to convince the country and the world that this was a justified thing for us to do, because there was at least a veil of like, we're the good guys and we're doing this for a reason that's not just the transfer of, or like the global leverage of controlling oil fields. And in this case, it aggravated me how little it seemed to matter that we were all completely against this and no one was buying the reason at all. Like, then they're fucking not at all. They did a trial run. It's like, all right, we're gonna hit the nuclear sites in Iran, and everyone's like, what the fuck, dude? We were very specific about this. You got my vote among many other reasons, but like specifically because you said you're not going to attack any other new countries, no more wars, and you just hit like, and you didn't even, and then when we really went in, it was like for absolutely no justice. You just said you knocked out their ability to enrich your, like, the whole nuclear program was destroyed. I remember that, that wasn't very long ago. And now it's just like, oh yeah, no, we still, we got to go in there. And it's like, so you're just straight in our face, like, fuck you, don't care what you guys think, we're just going to do this. That shit really pissed me off and continues to. I saw that we signed some deal with Iraq to build a pipeline to bypass the Strait of Hormuz or something. A couple of people sent that to me. They're all, I told you, man, it's 4D chess. And I'm like, oh, because you just hop, skip, and a jump fucking pipeline to circumvent Iran. You think that like that happens tomorrow? I mean, seems like it's a good thing, maybe, but like short term, unless I just don't understand this situation at all, seems like a pretty big problem that we still need to solve. But let me see. You're in good company. Like, sub, and a member. Out of all the creators, Jesse has the most member vids. They're super fun to watch. I got to renew my membership. I have a lot of them. That is true. That is true. Dude, I kind of want to like, let's just pick one at random, because I early on, I told, because like when I blew up on TikTok initially, there were a lot of videos, or well, I guess they were like stories that I told in like multiple parts. And it's because I did it one time and the numbers went through the roof and I gained so many subscribers. And so I like did it again. The reason that I didn't know at the time, it was just like complete dumb luck, algorithmic dumb luck, was was when you tell a story, like when someone watches one of your videos on TikTok or Instagram or wherever, sharing your content is like, that's one of those biggest things they could do that'll start, distributing your stuff more widely. But the other one is if they watch one of your reels or, posts or whatever, and then they go to your main page and they start watching your content and they go from, reel to reel to reel to reel. Like if they go to your page and they watch 4 reel, like that is like, they love this person's content. And so this was, 2020. So it was like way before you could do anything longer than 1 minute on TikTok. So like if I was telling a story, I had to do it in like 8 parts. So I'd do the 1 minute video, then part 2, part 3, part 4. And so by nature, people would watch it and then they would have to go to my page and go to the next one and then the next one, the next one. So it was like telling, TikTok that to like promote the shit out of I never even really understood that until much later. But as a result of that, I was just doing what it was incentivizing me to do. And so I was telling all these old stories from when I was in college. And when I first started YouTube, or I told a lot of those stories, and then I deleted them because they were all getting demonetized. And then, so in members only, I retold a bunch of them and then told some other ones that are, I would just never, I would never put them in front of the paywall. You know what I mean? But in this case, let me see if I can find a fun one as a preview. You know what I mean? Like whoa. Dude. How is that? If I haven't said this recently, I just want to say one more time that I am so fucking grateful to all of you guys for sticking with me and watching all my stuff and supporting the channel, because I am literally the luckiest person in the entire world. There's not a day that goes by that I don't think about that. And it is objectively the direct result of you guys continuing to support the channel, and I am extraordinarily grateful. I try to do my best to make it entertaining and keep on putting out content, but if I don't say it enough, I'll just say it again. But yeah, sometimes it makes me want to cry. Okay, so how do I do members only? I forgot about, like, how do I have to do it on my actual channel? I know for a fact one of the stories I told that did really, really well that I ended up taking down and putting behind members was the time where I was in college, still a naive little young buck. It was my first college girlfriend, and I found a used condom in her trash can the night or the day after she had told me that she was going to some party, whatever, didn't call me. She'd actually fucked her ex-boyfriend the night before, lied to me about where she was. And that was a rough go, that story. But hold on, let me find this thing, dude. I don't know why they kept on demonetizing it. It's like, I don't see. It's like, so what? That happened. You know what I mean? Like, why is that demonetized? Wait, hang on. 6. Okay, they want. All right, here. So, like, this is what members only section looks like. It's like they want RFK dead. So that was like one that's like, yeah, this is Rumble or here. Oh my God, I don't even remember that one, dude. Yeah, it's just a bunch of like fight stories, like just crazy old ass stories from, like, I mean, these literally happened like 20 years ago. All of these, more actually in some cases. But I think this is the one. Caught my girlfriend cheating, led to the blood. That's actually, yep. And I'm reading these like, gosh, should I? Maybe I don't remember exactly what I said, but I do. I'm very curious. Like, I haven't watched these in a long time. I'm really, oh my God. Oh man. This Logan still has me blocked on Instagram. Let me see. Dude. Let's just see if this one, like,
Jesse, why does your face look like that? Oh, sorry. I just recorded a video about U.S. women's national team soccer. And my God, man. This was like, because this video, I'm going to tell a story. I'm going to start telling stories in the members only, in the members only. I'm going to tell a bunch of stories that anybody, evergreen content people can come back and look at. But dude, if you haven't watched the U.S. women's soccer team video yet, it's not that long. Go give that a look. I'm still so hot, man.
June 2023. So this is like almost exactly 3 years ago. Let's watch that video instead, dude. Let's see what I said about the women's soccer team, because I'm very curious. It sounds like that's going to be a real funny video. Oh man, dude. Sounds a little bit spicy. Hopefully I don't get myself in trouble now. Wait. This isn't members only. This is my real stuff. Or my public stuff. Ugh. There we go. Okay, here we go. So, for the record, This video 3 years ago, I put
Totally
behind
different video, but
I put this behind the paywall because I knew that I would get insta demonetized and probably get in trouble. So let's see.
on my way up, I just watched a long form video breaking down the reality of the U.S. women's national team soccer, their lawsuit over gender discrimination in their pay, and how that actually broke down. The reality of how it was breaking down, where what they were getting paid versus what they said.
Wait a minute. You think it's a low IQ outfit to have a shirt that intentionally resembles the Pornhub logo, except it says jujitsu? Yeah. I mean, it's certainly not the outfit that I would wear to the national spelling bee that your kid won, you know? But I do think it's really funny.
They were getting paid versus the men, etc. It is mind-blowing. I don't have another word for it. It's mind-blowing, the reality. I did not know this. I had no idea. I had no idea how completely fraudulent their lawsuit was. And who is on board with this? The media promoting this fucking nonsense. The fact that ESPN gave these lying trash bag garbage humans the Arthur Ashe Award for what? When I explained this to you, when I actually explained what really happened here.
Yeah. This was when I learned exactly what actually happened with that lawsuit. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then you will. This is only a 5-minute video because it is so egregious the way that was represented by the media and what had actually happened. It's fucking crazy.
You're like, I don't use this word very often. I really don't.
Uh-oh. I'm going to go ahead and skip through whatever that was.
Okay. The women were offered the exact same deal as the men, which was no guaranteed money, zero, no guaranteed money at all. And they got a bigger bonus if they did well, if they played and they did well. Okay. The men chose that deal because as long as they played the amount of games that they expected to play, they would make more money doing that, right? The women were offered the same exact deal and they turned it down. They chose a deal where they had guaranteed salaries, 6-figure salaries, a $220,000 signing bonus for each of them at the beginning. They got all kinds of benefits. They also got paid per game. They also got paid for all of this. And what ended up happening is, this is what's so insane. The lawsuit was for the time period between 2015 and 2019. So guess who got paid more? Guess which group got paid more money? The men took all the risk. Okay. No money if games weren't played. Okay. They could make $0, which they did during COVID. They didn't make a dime, these guys, during COVID, while the women were making their 6-figure salaries, sitting at home, doing whatever they wanted. Okay. You want to know who got paid more? The fucking girls did. They made more money. And I'm talking they made more money dollars. I'm not talking like, the men were paid this percentage. I'm talking actual straight up dollars. The women made more. Every girl on the women's team, so all the starters, they made more money than all the starters on the men's team while having all of the guarantees. Okay. They made more money per game. They made more money total. And then they turned around and sued for gender discrimination because if retrospectively they would have taken the deal where they had to, risk everything, they would have made more money. Okay. So they chose the wrong deal. They didn't want to take that risk. And then subsequently, when it's man, years later, if we would have taken that deal, we would have made more. And so instead of collectively being man, we should have taken that other deal. Nah, dude. Because in woke America, what you do is you sue them and then go on a publicity tour saying that you were discriminated because you're women. Oh, we want equal pay with the men. A complete fucking lie. I hate these girls, dude. I
would say go fact check that shit because that is exactly what happened, dude. According to my opinion, because I don't know anything about what's exact, but yes, that's what happened. Okay. It's insane, dude. And what's so crazy is people. Okay. So one of the things that I think people have been discounting about the current administration is like, they're just kind of like, oh, you know, we bring in these guys and they're just as corrupt as whatever. And it's like, they're probably more corrupt in many cases. However, one thing that got axed is that shit. Like, I don't care. I'm like, this should not be controversial for someone who's like a Democrat and they think of themselves as a feminist. I'm not talking about that. I am not talking about like an actual woman who thinks it is a, you know, powerful, whatever, you know, like a girl wants equal things and wants the ability to go out and chase a career, be a CEO, not feel like they're being judged or discriminated against because they're a girl. Like, of course, dude, everybody is on board with that who is not a Neanderthal. What I'm talking about is that kind of shit where it was the exact opposite of that. Actually, it was just a silver bullet that could be used as a power play dishonestly. What's up, babe? Oh, do you want to come sit? Oh, yes, I do want that. Under the table right now? Funny. What? Like you meant right now? Just kidding. Yeah, I'm down. Like about 9 o'clock. Okay. C, dude. AC. Hey, someone to tell Akash, dude. That's how you do it, Akash. You know what I'm saying? Your girl comes in, yo, get under the table. See, she said yes. You guys didn't hear it. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding. And for the record, Gabrielle makes more money than I do. That's not necessarily true anymore, but for a long time, very recently it was. She's a fucking killing machine, dude. You want to talk about feminist? Bam, dude. She is a fucking self-made boss. Anyway, but like, okay, so I just I made a joke about this, but I'm actually like, perfect example of how like gross all of that is. Are you telling me that you think that those girls did not realize that they were like, that this was a complete and total sham, that they were trying to misrepresent this whole thing just for their own benefit? You're telling me that they thought that it was unfair, that the deal they chose had gone the way they did, as opposed, you know, and then they played gender discrimination. It's like, you had the option of their deal. You chose this one. The whole entire point of deals that are structured like that is you make a choice. You can either gamble and then you might make much more money, or you could take the safer guaranteed money, which has a lower, you know, ceiling. And in that world that we lived in very recently, you could just take the safe one. And then if it doesn't go the way that, you know, if it turns out you would have done better, you can just smear the reputation of all of USA Soccer, drag them through the mud, call them, you know, bigots, and then sue for the money that you would have got if you'd have made a different decision, plus some more. It's like, I was biting my tongue in that video and I'm biting it again now for what, like, you know, those, like, I have that kind of shit. Nothing pisses me off more than that kind of stuff. But so like when, so like yesterday, okay, so our new, like the new house that we just got, right? The streets, so like I love the neighborhood. Obviously we, you know, purchased there, but like the streets are kind of like, I don't, what's, you know, like when streets have been like they use like that kind of like black stuff to kind of like fill cracks, you know? So it's like very smooth, but I don't like it, man. It's like, there's too many like areas that have been crack fills. And I'm like, so I already looked into how I could petition the city to have them repave the entire thing so it just looks better, right? And I also partially did this because I realized this would be a great project to give to my kids, at least like a big part of it, like have my kids understand that there is a process to get something like you do. All of the roads that are around your neighborhood, you can get them repaved if you go through the process, figure out what, you know, city council you have to appeal or, you know, apply with, go door to door, get the appropriate number of signatures, present it there. And like, you know, if we all do this together, like, you know, my 8-year-old, well, 8, 10, and about to be 14, like that's the kind of lesson that they can learn that might make a massive difference in their trajectory as adults. It's like, for them to actually see the entire process of like, this is how you go and do something like that, get permits, do whatever, you know, I mean, I don't. So I was talking to them about it yesterday in the car and running through the steps that we needed, that we're going to need to take to go and do that. And there is a, there's a demographic that is a higher percentage in our neighborhood than other surrounding neighborhoods. And I looked up the numbers, and there's one like a half connected neighborhood that has a higher ratio of white residents than ours, and their streets just got paved, and it's like super nice. And I was like, so what we could do if they push back at all is I'll just play the race card. And I'll just be like, what do you guys have to say? How do you explain the fact that in this adjacent neighborhood where it's 88% whites, they have perfectly paved roads, and in ours, where you see that percentage drop 20% and you have a much higher percentage of, you know, not whites, you don't see the same thing here. And I'm wondering why that is. I want to ask every member of the city council, why do you think that is? Why do you think that as soon as you get away from majority or, you know, highest percentage of whites in the neighborhood, that all of a sudden you stop caring about the roads? Is that because you don't care about people who don't look like you? Silver bullet, they're going to pave the roads. It's a complete bullshit, completely dishonest attack that I wouldn't actually do in real life. But that's my point, is that would work for sure. Like, that would fucking work for sure. I'm not going to do it because I'm not a scumbag, but it's like, it's hilarious, dude. Oh yeah, that's what I meant. The demographic of gingers. You know, most cities will happily let you pay for your own road to be repaved or anything else you want to pay for. No. It's like, I'm not saying that I'm saying like we pay taxes to the city. So it's like, hey, city council, this area of the city, like, you need to redo these roads, man. They're ugly. Like, I don't like too much patchwork, man. I just want a nice, fresh, black street, you know? I would love for anyone to tell me one thing Trump did that he promised. Killed that entire, the whole thing that I was just talking about. Smoked it. Like, that is now gone. Am I being racist about? I think you missed the point, my dude. I am definitely not being racist. I'm saying that white people on the city council are susceptible to being emotionally blackmailed by me pretending that they are racist because the roads in my area are not as paved as they are down the street, you know, where there's more whites. Even though, you know, the POC in my area are, you know, they test pretty high in things. You know what I mean? Did I hear about Tyler Robinson? Yeah, I actually have that up. And that's another one of these things that I look at. I'm like, dude, I don't know what on earth this even means, man. You know? Like, hold on, where did that go? Dude, where did it go? Did I get rid of that one? I had it all queued up, and apparently I closed that tab for some reason, but I can comment on that. Like the Charlie at the restaurant. I'm sorry, Tyler Robinson at the restaurant thing is like, I can't validate any of that, and I'm unmoved by those things because where's like the hard 100%? It's like, is there a security footage? Like, is there security footage that we can validate is 100% legit, that it's definitely him, that he's definitely at this restaurant at whatever time? Because that obviously would be very interesting. But I've seen these so many times, and they're never solid enough to kind of hang my hat on. You know what I mean? At least that I've seen. Arca, what's up, dog? Being blocked by Logan is a super flex. That's true, dude. Sorry, I'm late. Anyway, how's it going, man? It's going good, dude. I could show you guys why Logan blocked me because it's one of my, I would say, probably the skit that I'm most proud of, or at least that I think is the funniest. Prone for life. Totally off topic. Sorry, just curious. Thought I saw you on an Evolve electric skateboard in a Halloween vid. You still e-skate? Now I have a one wheel, and fuck yeah, dude, that I one wheel everywhere. Like my daughter, like my middle daughter is super big. I got one, and she was constantly badgering me to ride mine, and she just got really, really good at it. So I bought her one. And then my youngest was like, that's not fair. And she got good enough that I'm like, okay, and I bought her one too. But like we rip those around. They're so fun, man. They're so fun. I got like the GT one wheel, and I got them the one wheel pint, the one wheel pint, the small one. They're the best, dude. And we go on our golf course at dusk, and we ride them down the fairway like it's literally just like snowboarding. It is literally exactly like snowboarding. Now, I'm going to show you guys why Logan is so upset at me. Oh, I don't know. He's probably not upset at me anymore. But he did block me because of this, which, I mean, listen, it's hilarious. I can't, if you think that I'm funny at all, you're for sure going to think this is funny. Okay. Check this out. Here's how we'll close this out for the night. Okay.
Guy who's simulating a penis with a liquor bottle, and he's pouring liquor in her mouth while she's on her knees with her mouth open. You believe that he also did not smash?
Yes, because it's a show.
What about the dude from Valuetainment who said that him and 3 of his boys smashed? She told you that's a lie, and you believe her.
Yes.
So do you believe in unicorns?
Yes.
How about the Easter Bunny?
Yes.
Have you ever snooped through her phone just to get a quantity of how many dudes she might be also talking to?
There are so many.
And you didn't get concerned about her talking to all those guys?
I really didn't.
Sounds about right. Hey, Mom, I'm in the middle of the interview that I told you I was going to be doing today.
This is the longest I've ever gone without sex.
Jesus, I was just there an hour ago.
I need penis inside of me.
Okay, well, I'm kind of in the middle of interviewing Jake Paul's brother.
It's driving me crazy.
Relax. I'll be back there in about 45 minutes.
This is the longest I've ever gone without sex.
Okay, yeah, you said that. You've never gone 60 straight minutes without sex before? I find that a little bit hard to believe.
If you guys know a good dick,
how about Dylan Dennis?
I'll take it.
Good God.
All I want is like a big fat sausage just destroying my body.
Jesus, that is so hot. Let me wrap up with this ass hat and I'll be right over.
I need penis.
I know.
I need penis.
I know.
Penis.
I got it.
I need penis.
Okay, I understand.
Penis.
Yeah, I gotta go.
I need penis.
I'm hanging up now.
Penis.
I'm hanging up now.
I need penis.
Oh.
Who the fuck's on the phone?
Yes.
What about the guy who's simulating a penis with a liquor bottle and he's...
And that is how you know you have the coolest wife ever, because she'll participate in that skit with you. Oh, man. Oh, man. You thought you didn't think I was funny. I mean, come on, man. Come on. That is objectively fun. Jake Paul's brother. Some of my someone, I'm not gonna just full on name drop, someone who I have admired their comedic skills forever. That was their favorite line too. And I was like, yes. I'm in the middle of interviewing Jake Paul's brother. Oh man. And what's so crazy about that was that clip, because it was the build up for the Dylan Dennis and Logan Paul boxing match, and Dylan started talking about that, and it just snowballed so bad. And then that video of her leaked, and it was like, I'm not a perfect person, dude. It was pissing me off. Because Logan said he was going to bankrupt Dylan Dennis, and that fucking really pissed me off after he sued him. And I was like, oh, anyway, bankrupting a new father was a little close to home for me. So, Team on Fire, could you help me out and flip your mic over so the Shure logo on the bottom isn't upside down. Good Lord, is it? Oh my. I am so sorry. Oh my God. Flip it over. Right, Logan? Just kidding. Yeah, I could probably do that. I mean, I don't know if I remember, but for now, I'll just do it like this, dude. Look at that. See, now you don't have to worry about it. You know, Arkle, what's up, dude? Also, Jesse's not being racist. My city forced through a referendum raising sales tax by 4%. They spent the budget on a street artist for the lake area while we dodged potholes in the north side of town. Yeah, dude. It's like, yeah, it's just, yeah, I'm definitely not being racist. I'm the one who moved to the neighborhood. You think I didn't know the demo when I moved there? You know? I'm just saying I could potentially manipulate white people that are susceptible to that type of manipulation if they don't give me the answer that I want. I'm not going to do it. It was more a point of that is a dishonest thing to do, you know? But anyway, speaking of happy wife, happy life, we are going to go watch the movie The Breadwinner right now. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but it's about a dude married to a lady, and the lady is such a baller that he ends up playing a housemaker or whatever, and hilarity ensues. You know, I would imagine I'm going to relate to this quite a bit because it's like, look how stupid the daddy is when he is in charge of watching children by himself. It's like, listen, it's, you know, daddy daycare is fun, but like, she's much more efficient at things. You know what I mean? Anyway, you guys are the best. I love you guys. I appreciate you saying that, Gary Pittman. I would, man, it's crazy. Like, we want to do like, there's, you know, there's a big group of us that have talked about doing live shows together for a long time. Like, you know, me and Nate Valhalla, like, Heavy Duty Country, JD Delay. We talked about like doing like a small tour or whatever. And we might do that. And I will tell you in advance, if we do that, my show will essentially be that, but without me calling it stand-up comedy, because like it's a lot of pressure, man. Like, I'm just going to go up there and talk. If it happens to be fucking hilarious, then it'll be that. But it's not like, I don't want people buying tickets specifically because they're like, you better make this funny or else I'm out of here. It's like, I think it would be much funny, or like, it'll be funnier if it's like, you know, there's not all the make me laugh. Hey, little jester, why don't you dance a little jig and make me laugh? You know, Ms. Trouble, what's up, girl? You are talking you're at the very beginning of the stream. But it's who's more invested in the relationship. Yes, that for sure. For sure. And I always like, because I've been together with Gabrielle for so fucking long, I've ended up being like the sounding board for girls and guys that are our friends that are in kind of these like, I don't know what to do situations. And generally speaking, the advice that I give, and by the way, I'm telling you right now, if there is any hope of saving a relationship like that, where you're kind of in a in-between zone, if there is hope, if it can be salvaged, if someone has the discipline to literally do exactly to the letter, what I say, I can reel them back in 100% of the time. But they can't divert from like the steps at all, like not even a little bit. And the only reason I couldn't do it for myself, for the record. Like, I'm not saying, oh, if I was in this situation, I'd be able to do it. Because the reason why I'm able to do it is because I have absolutely no emotional attachment to this at all. And so I can just put in pure, unencumbered strategy to mindfuck the one who thinks they're in control. If I'm in the other seat in real life, I am emotionally invested. So I can't do the same thing, you know? Like, it's one of the hardest things in the world to do. That's why you almost need someone, dude. I'm telling you, if I could make it make sense financially, like I could make that into a service. It's like listen, I can't save something that's not salvageable, but if it's salvageable, I will do it every time through text message. But the key to doing it is exactly this. It's all about their interpretation of who is more invested, and you are going to sell them very, very hard on the fact that you are no longer invested. And you're not mad. You know, it's just they're just not very important anymore. It's like, oh yeah, you know, whatever. And it's an art form that is very, very easy when it's not someone you actually care about, and it works every single time. I have buddies that have 3 fucking kids who were broken up with their current wife, and I did that. He was absolutely flawless when it came to you don't contact her for any reason unless it is exactly what I wrote, and you copy paste everything. You're not typing a letter to her for this month. And it's so fun, dude. I haven't had a project like that in a long time, because now we're like all, you know. Anyway, all right. You guys are the best. Love you guys, and peace.